Eagles. Eagles.
Welcome in, everybody, to a Thursday edition of Birds 365 here on JAKIB Sports. I'm your host, Zander Krause. That's John McMullen, the #1 Eagles beat reporter in town. Johnny Mac inching closer now, 3 days away from the NFC Championship game in Philadelphia. Eagles Commanders. How you doing on this Thursday morning, Johnny Mac?
Doing well, getting closer and closer. Maybe it's even going to warm up a little bit today. The Eagles are going to be able to practice outside, so we'll get our first look at Jalen Hurts and some other injuries popping up, which might even be a bigger concern if things are going in a negative direction for Dallas Goedert and Cam Jurgens, who did not participate in a walkthrough yesterday. So, it's estimated. It's not a real practice.
Right.
Might be just trying to manage them through the week. We'll get a better indication today. But obviously, one of the things that concerned me is that Eagles made a couple of practice squad moves, and one of them was veteran offensive lineman Cam Irving, who's got experience all over but can play center. And you start to think to yourself, why are they bringing a 32-year-old guy
Right.
on, what are we, January 23rd?
Right.
They don't have a lot of depth at center as they typically would. And my guess is if they need a center, it's going to be Landon Dickerson, actually. Brett Toth is now on the 53. He's technically the backup. You got Nick Gates, who typically isn't active. He can do it. But, you don't want to not have Cam Jurgens in this game.
Yeah, you have any real concern there, or did it seem to you more like a rest? I know they probably didn't tell you much, but just what's your gut feeling on that?
No, it's, because the guys who are resting, they designate with rest, even if they have multiple issues like A.J. Brown, who's, listed as rest/knee. These guys weren't listed as rest. It's just ankle for Dallas Goedert, back for Cam Jurgens. And backs.
Yeah.
So something to keep an eye on. It's not the end of the world. It's early in the week. First day, they haven't even, as I said, practice in a poll. That'll happen today. And if he's back out there, probably no issues. But the addition of Cam Irving at this late stage.
Yeah.
Like they signed Nick Muse too, who's a younger tight end. They don't have a lot of depth at tight end because of the that's fine. That
right. And the Cameron Latu, I saw they signed him too.
Yeah, to a futures deal. But Muse is actually on the practice squad now, so they could technically elevate him if they wanted to. With Irving, you don't bring in 32-year-old guys unless there's this late in the season, unless there's a reason you need them. That to me is bigger than like if Cam showed up on the practice report yesterday as he did, I would have said, well, I wouldn't be too concerned. Manage him, but the added part of the Irving to the equation that set off a little bit of a red flag. It could be nothing, could be everything.
Interesting. We'll see how that plays out. John, everybody's waiting for the update on two key players, obviously, coming into this game. You got some information on them. Quinyon Mitchell, one cornerback, and QB, obviously, Jalen Hurts. He spoke yesterday. What'd you hear from Jalen? What's your feeling on how those two guys are progressing and what their status will be for this Sunday's game?
Well, Quinyon's playing, no doubt about it. He said he's playing. He said he's fine. Got hurt making a tackle for whatever reason. Couldn't go back in the game, but so he'll be ready to go. You do have to keep an eye on it, I suppose. And Isaiah Rodgers has done a nice job when he's been forced to play in the past. So I think he could persevere. But Quinyon's going to certainly start and play, and hopefully he's fine. With Jalen, there's no doubt he's going to play. All the concerns with Jalen Hurts are what Jalen Hurts is going to be out there. Is he going to be limited
Right.
to a significant degree, mobility wise? All I did, he was playing pool afterwards. I think can't help in the players' lounge can't help to think that's purposeful because you don't see him do that a lot.
Right.
Playing pool with I think it was Darian Kennard and I forget the other person, but and the eyes were glued walking back and forth, walking to the auditorium, didn't notice any limp or weird gaits or anything like that. So with Jalen though, we're not going to know until game time how limited he is. But I think he's going to be somewhat limited. Now, is that 70% or 90%, which are numbers anyway? But, is he? I think it's going to make a big difference. And to be honest, I don't see a lot of avenues for Washington to win this game. Been pretty honest about. That's probably the one avenue if he's severely limited, which I think could keep, Washington in the game.
What's the nature? I mean, I know obviously it's a knee, but do you know anything more about the nature of the injury? And what I mean by that is, if it's a knee contusion, I think he'll play through it because there's no risk of aggravating a bigger injury, if that makes sense. If it's an MCL and he literally can't cut, he could really hurt himself more. Wouldn't that limit him severely more? I mean, I would assume that Jalen Hurts is going to take whatever game meds he needs to take and go as hard as he can. But I think the nature of the injury would change how hard he could go.
Yeah, MCL is the big key. Meniscus too, and those would severely limit you versus contusion, which is more of a pain tolerance thing. And I don't think there's any doubt he can play through that. But if it's a sprain or a torn meniscus, I always bring up David Chow because he does a good job with the video stuff. He ruled out PCL, but he said it could be an MCL, could be even a torn meniscus. That could limit him to that degree to where he's not the same player and you're just trying to persevere through a game. But, and then obviously things would have to change a little bit. And I think even coming in, Washington's going to be hyper-focused like everybody is on stopping Saquon Barkley in this running game. It's easier said than done. Right. But they did it for a half in Washington when Jalen got hurt. I mean, he also had the long touchdown run with Kenny Pickett on the field. But once they settled down, they stopped him. Yeah. With no +1 in the running game for the most part.
They did run the ball well against, I guess it was Dallas. So I don't know. We won 41-7. I don't know how much you can do.
Yeah, I don't know how much. Yeah.
I mean, listen, it was 160, and I said, okay, at least you can run. I mean, I know you have the offensive line and the running back still, but there's no doubt Jalen takes away some element of it. But I thought that was at least a small positive. But look, if you're going to average 90 net yards passing, John, 160 yards on the ground is not going to be enough. So whether, when push comes to shove, it seems like we're going to have to make a few more plays in the air this week in the passing game.
Yeah, I expect, 65 net yards passing. That's almost hard to do. I joke that's like junior varsity high school level. That's hard to do.
Yeah.
And some have pointed out, look, you had the drop by AJ, but I don't like doing that. It's like, well, if they didn't drop the ball, well, every team can do that.
Yeah, right. There's those plays in every game.
Yeah,
the numbers are the numbers. The facts are the facts.
And the Devontae penalty. All right, people get penalties all the time that limit completions. You can't just say, well, if
right.
It wasn't a hard hit, it's a completion. Yeah, I think that's nonsense. But I think it's almost hard to do that again if you're trying. even without Dallas Goedert. And hopefully Dallas is okay as well. I can't imagine they'd only be at 65 net passing yards again. I can't imagine it.
That's sad. I think they're going to be able to. I think they're going to be able to put it together a little bit more. But if Jalen's legs are not a factor, I mean, look, he had the 40+ yard touchdown last game, so he obviously still has that ability, or he did last game. If you lose that, we'll see what the game plan is coming in. John, any update on AJ Brown? You spoke with AJ Brown yesterday in the media. He's having not a great playoffs right now. 3 catches, 24 yards in 2 games. He was targeted 7 times, obviously only caught 2 last game. He had the 2 big drops that everybody's been talking about all week. Many speculated maybe he's dealing with an injury. They talked about it in the week prior to the game leading up to it. He said, I'm a little bit more banged up than everybody else, I believe was the words he used. What do you think about A.J. Brown? You think he's going to be dealing with that same injury coming into this, or is he a little bit healthier? What do you think?
Well, he says he's getting a little bit better. He was able to – he wasn't happy with the snow. He's one of the guys who wasn't certainly happy with the snow, and he slipped on that pass that he typically is going to catch. And he noted, he's still getting open and big blocks down the field on the Saquon runs. So still contributing in that aspect. But, yeah, I mean, when you have an all-pro level receiver, you want to get the ball in the hands of the all-pro level receiver. You're not 100%. He's not going to be 100%. We'll probably know after the season what he was dealing with. But clearly he's not himself. But he did say he's getting incrementally better. Might be a situation where injuries are an interesting thing because, I think way too many people assume, all right, he's on the field, he's the same guy. And that's just not the case, especially this time of year. And that's what we're talking about with Jalen Hurts. That's what we're going to be talking about with AJ and have been talking about and so many other players. I mean, we always talk about look at Washington. Every week you say, fans get concerned. Well, look at Washington's injury report. Sam Cosmi's out for the year. Their best offensive lineman tore his ACL. Deron Payne didn't practice. Has got it dealing with a knee, dealing with a finger. Bobby Wagner didn't practice, dealing with an ankle. Zach Ertz didn't practice, dealing with a rib. Cleveland Farrell didn't practice, dealing with a knee. I expect them all to play.
Yeah, right.
Everybody, this is pro football. This is the 20th game for the Eagles. That's a grind from a physical standpoint.
Yeah, it is, man. No doubt.
So, just because somebody's out there doesn't mean they're not playing through stuff. And, it works on obviously both teams. The first time people talk about, and I've forgotten it myself because as you go through the season, Jaden Daniels probably had his worst game at least since the opener where he didn't play well in Tampa, against Tampa. It was probably his worst game. He had a rib injury, and there was concern that, he wouldn't be able to go that week.
Right.
And I don't know how much it affected him, but saw Kenny Pickett try to play through a rib injury. Injuries are a real thing, even when guys are out there.
Right. We'll see how it plays out. You mentioned that Commander's injury report. I was going to say, I think they're more healthy than we are, but they did have a lot of guys not practice yesterday, so they're pretty banged up over there. I will say this, the one interesting matchup, there's a couple interesting matchups, and we're going to get into all of them. We have a great show planned for everybody, by the way. I want to welcome everybody in. Sorry I didn't do that this morning. Good to see everybody here in the chat. Don't forget to hit that like button if you're watching live, and if you're not watching live or you're watching after or you're listening to the podcast, we appreciate you for listening, tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like button for us. Subscribe to the channel and leave us your comments down below. I try and read all the comments when I can. So good morning, everybody. Hit that like button. Hope you guys are doing well this morning. 3 days away from the NFC title game in Philly. Here we go, everybody. John, Marshon Lattimore, excuse me,
I
played
always
his
call him
best
Marcus
game.
too. That's weird.
Yeah, where is it? Did I get that from you? Is that where I got that from?
Probably because I
Yeah, you
always, for
called him
some
Marcus earlier,
reason,
and I corrected you.
I feel, and Marshon's been playing for a very long time. He's a very good player. He's been an all-pro corner.
That's
For
funny.
some reason, I believe his name should be Marcus because I
Yeah,
always
well,
make
it's
that.
funny because you and Cilio both say Marcus, and now I'm saying Marcus.
Yeah, it's
I was the one
weird.
correcting you two.
I
Now
think
I'm
there was
saying it.
yeah. it's
Well,
weird.
anyway, he had his best game. Well, he had a really good game in their playoff game last week versus the Detroit Lions. He was giving them hell. Look, if AJ's a little banged up, that's an interesting matchup coming into that game. Like we say, I always like AJ in any matchup, but an AJ on a banged up knee could be a different story going up against a cornerback like Marshon Lattimore. And if they have to throw the ball, I think that could be a significant matchup in this game. There's a couple good matchups in this game that I want to talk to you about today.
Yeah, I mean, those two guys love each other too. They have tremendous respect. I remember, the game down there when the Commanders won, even, AJ got, well, I don't know, was it 3 PIs on him? A whole bunch, almost fouled him out of the game, from a perspective of just grab. Marshon was having a real difficult time with AJ.
Yeah, they had those double pass interference calls, which were kind. I mean, I'll take them, but they were.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. But those two have tremendous respect for each other, and AJ didn't want to talk about it yesterday, but he'll talk about it after the game because he loves playing against Marshon Lattimore and vice versa, just from a competitive nature.
Yeah.
But the Eagles always like, as you mentioned, the advantage, A.J. Brown pretty much against anybody. But again, he's not 100%, so it changes things a little bit.
We'll see how it all plays out. We got a great guest coming up, John Stolnis. All right, we're going to talk to Johnny Stolnis coming up here on Birds 365 after the break. Again, thanks everybody for being here. We'll get to that first commercial break now. And John, it will come up here at 8:20. So we're going to get him now on Birds 365. Let me tell you guys about the great people at BetUS. All right, you can see the promo code I put on your screen. That's YouTube 150. Gives you 150% sign-up bonus on your very first deposit, and you get 125% on your second and third deposit, all up to $2,000. So deposit less and bet with more at BetUS. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. Well, John Stolnis from Bleeding Green Nation coming up next on Birds 365.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The following is a real testimonial from the father of a young injured victim.
I didn't think she was going to make it.
Major Perry's daughter was the victim of a horrific accident caused by someone else's negligence.
If you don't find the right counselor, law firm that you're looking for, you will get lost in the wilderness.
Badly injured? Call the Fritz and Bianculli Law Firm at 215-458-2222 and find out why they say, "We got this."
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
We noticed that there was mold creeping into our basement about a year and a half ago, and wanted to make sure that we were getting rid of the problem permanently. We actually reached out to several different contractors to get it resolved, and actually 2 of them recommended DryTech to us as a long-term solution. Other than the noise factor, we wouldn't even know that there was work being done on the basement level. It's really been a clean process for us.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Welcome back in, everybody, to Birds 365, a Thursday edition of the show here, joined by John Stolnis now from Bleeding Green Nation. Make sure you guys follow John on X, at John Stolnis. Does amazing work for Bleeding Green. John, welcome to the show, man. How you doing on this Thursday morning? 3 days out from an NFC title game.
Yeah, getting pumped for another one of these things, man. I remember a time when it seemed inconceivable these guys would reach an NFC championship game. Man, remember the Buddy Ryan days, man? It was
man.
crazy,
Nobody does.
You
You got a whole generation that doesn't know, John. And hey,
Kids.
you go past Buddy Ryan and really Dick Vermeil. You want to go before Dick Vermeil.
Yeah.
This was a wasteland.
Well, I mean, it went like 25 years between playoff wins from that game in New Orleans to the Dick Vermeil era. I mean, it was crazy. So this is, we're this generation of Eagles fans is clearly spoiled, but we're glad they are.
Spoiled and
Put me in
entitled.
that spoiled column, John.
That's right.
I'm looking for wins, baby. I'm looking for Super Bowls, John.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Third one in 8 years at home. It's amazing. In this century, other than the Kansas City Chiefs, this has been the most consistent franchise. And I try to give Jeffrey Lurie. Jeffrey Lurie deserves a lot of credit. Obviously, he doesn't get it because he's not on the front lines, but to build this organization where they are, and this has become second nature. Third time in 8 years.
Look at what's going on in Jacksonville. Like, I mean, you have an owner there who, once fires Doug Peterson, but keeps a GM, a floundering GM, and they go through this first run of coaches, and none of the good coaches want to go coach there because they'd be tied to this GM that's a lame duck. And so now they fire the GM yesterday, and they got to go through these rounds of coaches. I mean, ownership matters, man. It really does.
Oh, yeah. Matters in every sport, as you know, as a baseball guy as well. And Jeffrey Lurie has proven to be, I don't know if it's the gold standard, but it's right there, certainly in the NFC.
Yeah.
Now, the first 2 times, 38-7, 31-7. I'll tell you what, coming into the game, because I covered both of those teams, I feel more confident about this team against Washington than obviously, the Nick Foles team where we were all like, what the hell is going to be? Minnesota was actually favored in that game. Right. Seems ludicrous in hindsight, but probably deservedly so because of the backup quarterback. And then San Francisco, everybody's like, well, that team's really talented. And they were until Hassan Reddick wrecked the game. This time, I'm like, well, they're just better.
Yeah.
They're just better. So that means it's going to be really close, right?
Yeah, it probably does. And you just, so there's a couple different ways that this thing can shake out, right? I mean, like, Jaden Daniels is on such a heater right now that's what terrifies you about the Commanders, because at every other spot on these rosters, the Eagles are superior. And if Jalen Hurts is 100% and playing the way he can, he's as good as Jaden Daniels is. But we haven't seen that level of play from Jalen Hurts. He's played fine. They're winning. I think he's doing what they're asking him to do mostly. So I mean, I'm not one of those guys who's throwing a ton of shade on Jalen Hurts. He could be playing better for sure. With Jaden Daniels, one of 2 things is going to happen. The heater is going to continue. But I remember back when Mike Vick was riding a hot streak in 2004. He beat the Packers in Green Bay. The Atlanta offense looked unstoppable, and they came into Philadelphia in 2004, and the Eagles defense shut down the running quarterback in one of the best defensive games I've ever seen them play against a quarterback like that. And so I feel like that's one of the outcomes that can happen here on Sunday too, is, Jaden Daniels has been riding this hot streak. He's playing phenomenal football, but will it end? Will the ride end? And we've seen quarterbacks who go on heaters. It ends at a certain point, and maybe that's what happens on Sunday afternoon.
You mentioned Jalen Hurts there, John, and how this team has looked. Obviously, it looks a little different than I think we expected at this point in the year. Haven't talked to you in a little bit on the show, John. Yeah. What's your take on it? You think this is a formula for Super Bowl? Obviously, there's a section of people that want to see a better passing game because they believe that's what we need to do to win a Super Bowl. But nobody seems to be able to stop Saquon Barkley. I don't know. Maybe we're just going to run to the Super Bowl, John. What do you think?
Yeah, we might. I think, we certainly can win this way to get to the Super Bowl. Now, whether you can beat the Bills or Chiefs this way is another matter. I think those two teams are both pretty better than the Commanders for sure. But right now, the formula is working. And it's so funny. Like, we have been ingrained to think that you need a high-level passing game. You cannot win in the NFL without a high-level passing game. But nobody has a home run hitter like Saquon Barkley right now. He's your big play threat. It's not AJ Brown. It's not Devontae Smith. It's Saquon Barkley. That's how you're making your splash plays, is in the run game. And so, I think you continue to lean on that until you can't. And maybe that happens on Sunday. Maybe the Commanders do what they did in the second half the last time these two teams played, and shut down Saquon Barkley. But, I think until then, you continue to focus on that, and you would like to know that you have the game in your back pocket. That Steelers game a few weeks ago does tell me that it's in there somewhere, that when they make a concerted effort to throw the football, they can do that. We're all worried about, Jalen Hurts' health, and that's still kind of a question mark. We know he's going to play, but how much is he going to play? But I understand a lot of the worries about the passing game, because you want to know that you have that tool in your toolkit. If something like what happened in the second half against Washington happens, where they really key in on Saquon Barkley and they're able to get stopped. Okay, can you switch it up? Can you throw the football? Can you keep up with this high-powered Washington offense? And that's the only thing that makes me a little bit nervous. But we're seeing that. There was decades where defense and running the football, that's how you won championships. And we were talked out of that over these last 10, 15 years, that's not the way you win championships anymore. The Eagles are going to try and show that you can still win that way.
Yeah. I always talk about it on this show, John. I've talked about it with you. It's not about you have to do this, you have to do that. It's about increasing your margin for error. I say it a million times. People are probably sick of me saying. And I think last week's game in the divisional round is a perfect example of this. The Rams are on the 13-yard line with a minute plus left, and they're ready to steal the game if it's not for Jalen Carter. They're ready to steal the game. On the first sack, in fact, Eagles defender slipped, and if Jalen Carter doesn't get that pass rush, we're all in autopsy mode. We're talking about what went wrong. And there is no way the Los Angeles Rams should have been in that football game, except the Eagles could not pass the football effectively. Obviously, it wasn't Saquon's fault. Obviously, it wasn't the offensive line's fault, 280 plus rushing yards. When you have that, and by the way, it was two back-to-back pass rushes on his 68th and 69th rep, Jalen Carter, the sack and then the hurry, which was, the fourth down play wasn't even a concern because Jalen Carter was on Matthew Stafford so quickly. But winning blinds everything. That's how close it was for being a disaster.
Yeah.
That I think is the concern.
With 280 rushing yards,
Yeah, and we saw that against the Falcons in week 2, how they came back late in the game, and we saw that against the Commanders, obviously, in week 16, and that was what was going through my mind. It's like, not again. Is the defense really going to, after playing such a phenomenal game, is the defense going to give it up with 2 touchdown drives in the last 3.5, 4 minutes of the game? But I hear what you're saying, and when you get, last week was difficult because of the snow, and AJ Brown talked about that, but this is not a new problem. It's not a new issue. And I think it really comes into play when you're in the red zone or you're at the 30, when you're trying to score touchdowns instead of field goals. You can't you can't score every touchdown on a 40+ yard rushing play. Like, those are rare. The Eagles get more of those than really any team should expect to get them. So those splash running plays are great, but they're really hard to pull off. And so what if the Commanders come out and they say, we're going to play 2 high the whole game. We're going to play 3 high the whole game. Jalen is not going to bust out a 40+ yard rushing touchdown against us. So we're just not going to let it happen. Well, now you're going to have to, I mean, maybe you're picking it up in 5-6 yard chunks and you're having 16 play, 85 yard drives that chew up 9 minutes of clock. I'm all for that. If that's the way we got to win the game, that's the way we got to win the game. But late in that game, when the Eagles got those 2 fumble recoveries and they're trying to extend their lead, they're trying to put a little cushion between them and the Rams. Having a passing game that was working a little bit better might have enabled them to get a couple extra first downs, score a touchdown instead of a field goal in one of those different spots. And so that's, you want to know that you can do that. And so this weekend, there'll be no excuses as far as conditions are concerned or anything else. Everybody should be relatively healthy except for Hurts. Again, we don't know, but his arm's fine. So there shouldn't be any excuses in terms of inclement weather or anything like that. You just want to know that it's there when you need it. And that's what we're all not sure about. We're just not sure that it's there if and when they need it.
It was there in the Pittsburgh game, and you mentioned that. That's what I think a lot of us are holding on to, that they can pull that out, and hopefully they'll be able to do that. But John, talk to me about this defense, man. What a turnaround it's been this year from Vic Fangio, the way he's got some of these guys playing. First team All-Pro linebacker in the city of Philadelphia. John,
Crazy.
Who would have expected that? Just talk to me about what you've seen from them this year and how impressed you've been with what Vic Fangio has been able to do with the defense.
Yeah. The combination of Vic Fangio and some new young talent on this team has made all the difference. I think I saw a quote from him yesterday. He might have said it at one of the news conferences I didn't see, but I think told the team at some point this year, it's not your fault that you weren't working hard. Like the previous coaching staff was essentially not working them as hard as they should have been. And Dan Orlovsky, one of the national guys, has been on this for the last few weeks. Is like, no team in the NFL, no defense in the NFL is playing harder than the Eagles right now. The way they run to the football, the way they tackle, the way they blow things up that really should be going for big gains. Like that's the kind of stuff that's not necessarily on paper, right? I mean, that's the way that they're rallying to the football, the way they're communicating. That was such a huge problem last year. These guys communicating in the secondary, in the second level, linebackers, safeties, cornerbacks, passing guys off. Like, that's just not an issue this year. And then you've also got new blood in Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, massive upgrades over James Bradbury and Avonte Maddox in the secondary. That has made a huge difference for this team. But like you mentioned, Zach Bond, they've got to sign him this offseason. I don't care what it costs, whatever they have to do. I realize that means you probably can't re-sign as many players as you might like, but he has made such an unbelievable difference in the middle of this defense to have a first-team All-Pro linebacker that can just patrol the middle of the field the way that he does, make plays behind the line of scrimmage. He chased down a screenplay last week that should have gone for 50 yards and essentially stopped it and kept it to like a 10-yard gain just from hustle and instinct alone. That kind of play is unquantifiable, but it's the kind of plays he's been making all year. And then he had that one series in that game where he had 2 or 3 plays in a row where he was blowing plays up in the backfield, knocking passes down, recovering fumbles. He's everywhere. And it's been one of the most remarkable turnarounds year over year that I've ever seen any Eagles unit make, taking a team last year that was, by the end of the season, the worst defense in football. I don't think anybody can agree. They were the worst defense in football at the end of last year. They are now the best defense in football. I've never seen anything like it.
In Vic, we trust.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. We all looked at this linebacker room coming into training camp and said, "Oh, I mean, this is." People were trying to talk themselves into Devin White, John.
Yeah, that's right.
They he had a bad couple of years in Tampa, but he was the top 5 pick and yada yada yada. And all of a sudden, Zach Bond comes out of nowhere. Stories well told. Even Howie Roseman didn't sign him to be an all-ball linebacker. Vic got a look at him and said, "Yeah, I think he's an all-ball linebacker," and the rest is history. But also Nakobe Dean, and I want to talk about Nakobe Dean. Nakobe became the player we all hoped and envisioned when he was drafted out of Georgia, where he was a college superstar, and then he got hurt again. And the Eagles have been able to persevere without him. Oren Burks has played well, really well. Here's my concern. They haven't faced the receiver out of the backfield that can make plays. Josh Jacobs, great running back, more of a dump guy. They dump it off to him. And that can be difficult. That's what Saquon does here. If he gets an open space, can make a big play. But Austin Eckler, he can run routes. He can run angle routes, option routes, wheel routes. The first time they played, when Jaden Daniels was dealing with a rib injury, and they didn't look good, Austin Eckler did. He caught, what was it, Zander? 8 passes for 89 yards out of the backfield. And this time you don't have Nakobe Dean. You go back to last year's Super Bowl, it turned when Dre Greenlaw tore his Achilles and Oren Burks had to go on the field. And it turned because they attacked him in the passing game. Am I nitpicking too much?
Well, no, I think, Austin Eckler in the middle of the field may get his. I think if you limit Terry McLaurin, if you limit Zach Ertz, my concern is more about Zach Ertz than it is necessarily Austin Eckler.
You just know he's making a play in this game.
Yeah, especially down near the goal line.
Fourth and 1, maybe.
Yeah.
I always go for it on 4th down.
Yeah. I mean, I hear what you're saying about Austin Eckler, but I think if he has another game like he did in Philadelphia, 8 catches for 89 yards, I don't think that's what kills us. I certainly think that it's not ideal. You don't want the running back getting that much yardage, but the main thing that would really hurt us in this game is if Terry McLaurin has a big game, if some of the other receivers have a big game. What concerns me about the Commanders right now is the way they were moving the football with tempo and no huddle, and the way the Rams moved the ball against the Eagles late in the game with tempo and no huddle.
I think everybody looks great with tempo and no huddle. I think everybody looks good. The Eagles look great with tempo and no huddle. And nobody runs it. Where's Chip?
I don't know. I mean, maybe it must be difficult for some teams to do, but Jaden Daniels is exceedingly comfortable with it, and just so many of the short passes last week. I mean, against the Lions, he was just slinging quick hitters to McLaurin and to the running backs and everybody. It was a lot of screen passes, a lot of quick things, and that's the thing. It doesn't allow the defensive pressure to get there in time when he's doing that kind of thing. And Eckler could play into that in a big way. I mean, it's certainly a matchup to watch. I think it's maybe one of the few matchups that Washington has to their advantage. And if that's one of the few that they have, I think that's one that I can live with. But we'll need to see Oren Burks, and we'll see how much Jeremiah Trotter plays this week too. He didn't play at all last week because Burks was playing pretty well. So, I think that's a good matchup that could favor the Commanders.
John, talk to me about Kellen Moore. Okay, a lot of debate on him all year long and what people think of him in this offense and the passing concepts and everything like that. I had two plays last week that I hated from Kellen Moore. Everything else I think is, whatever. The bootleg with a banged up knee and the 5-step drop into the end zone on your 4-yard line with a banged up knee. I hated those 2 play calls. And as John always says, we judge results. I'm not judging the result here. I'm judging the call with the banged up knee there. What do you think of Kellen Moore? What do you think what he's done with this offense, and just your perspective on how much he might be an issue in the passing game, or maybe it's none at all for you?
I think it's curious where, Sirianni and Hurts and Moore, where are they, how they're coming to the game plans that they're coming to, right? Is this Kellen Moore in his lab cooking this stuff up, and then he gives it to Sirianni, and Sirianni green lights it, and Hurts is like, okay, coach, you got it. We'll do what we want. Or is this a matter of Kellen Moore is giving Hurts what he's comfortable doing and the kind of stuff that Sirianni, generally speaking, wants to do? I look at the route trees. I look at the things that they're doing. They're very basic. I mean, I see so many routes where you have the Eagles receivers running straight at a defender and then stopping in front of them and turning around. Just what's that? What is that? And there's there's a number of routes where you have one guy who's the clear first read in the progression, but then on the backside of the play, nothing's happening. Nobody's doing anything. We've seen Jalen also turn down some opportunities on 3rd and 4th reads. Either he doesn't get to them or he doesn't see them. Some of it is on Jalen, but as far as the game plan from Kellen Moore, I just don't see a lot of creativity. And maybe he's giving Jalen Hurts what he's comfortable with. Maybe Hurts isn't comfortable with the kind of offense that Moore would really want to call, or maybe this is the offense Moore wants to call. It's not creative enough for me necessarily, because doesn't seem like anybody's getting schemed open. Like we're not seeing like mesh concepts like we saw at different points earlier in the season. We're not seeing any rub concepts. We're not seeing quick hitters. Like they just haven't really had any desire to get the ball out of Jalen's hands quickly. They seem to be wanting him to take 5 and 7 step drops and looking 15, 20 yards down the field every drop back. And, when Jalen Hurts is going well, the ball's coming out of his hand when that back foot hits and he can let it go. I just don't think a lot of those plays have been there. So I would like to see more of that this week, especially if Jalen's knee limits him in terms of his scrambling ability and his ability to move around in the pocket. That might force Kellen Moore to put some more quick hitters in there, to do some things in the offense that gets the ball out of his hands more quickly and avoid sacks. Throw some more tight end screens. Love the tight end screens to Dallas Goedert. They really do need. I don't like the bubble screens outside to AJ Brown when you have Devontae Smith blocking people. That don't do those. But if you can get Saquon out on screens and work the stuff over the middle of the field, that can loosen things up a little bit, and I think that helps the run game too. So that's what I'd like to see from Moore here on Sunday.
My favorite play in football, John, the smoke screen to the receiver. Love it. I'm joking, facetious.
No, it's it depends what you've
ugliest
got.
Play in football. Ugliest play. Even when
it
works, ugly.
Yeah.
Ugly.
Yeah.
And everybody runs it in Chicago. They run it 15 times a game, so it could be worse. But I hear what you're saying. But here's the thing, and people get mad at me, but who cares? I'm gonna point it out. Mechanically, I'm not talking about success. They've had tremendous success on offense by and large through the Nick Sirianni era. Whoever the play caller was, mechanically, Nick Sirianni, Shane Steichen, Brian Johnson, Kellen Moore, it always looks mechanically the same. I mean, I think we got to look what's staring us in the face. It ain't the coaches. The coaches are building an offense the quarterback is comfortable with. And sometimes that looks ugly. Overall, I always point out, and I asked Nick about Brian Johnson, he's raving about him. What a great football coach. Well, why isn't he here? Because somebody's got to be a scapegoat. And ultimately, he's a scapegoat for the defense, really, because the offense last year was ranked 8th in the NFL. The offense this year was ranked 8th in the NFL. Now, obviously, people go to the second year of Shane Steichen because they made the Super Bowl and they say, oh, then it was great. Same damn thing mechanically. Same damn thing mechanically. Well, there's a little bit of difference because human beings are human beings. And in the moment, maybe Shane had a better feel than the rest of the guys. That's probably fair. But mechanically, I'm talking about, John, it's very, very similar. Why is everybody just going, fire Brian Johnson? Who cares if Kellen Moore goes to Dallas? We want Shane back because they won with Shane. Yeah. But other than that, Nick stinks. And by the way, I'll just say this, and then I'll let you go. Before Nick got here, Andrew Luck, Jacoby Brissett, Phillip Rivers. He and Frank Wright put together 3 different offenses in 3 different years. Everything points to they are building this offense around what the quarterback is comfortable with. Agree or disagree?
I think that's what we're looking at. I mean, you've had 3 different offensive coordinators in 3 years, and the offense has looked pretty much the same. It's either the offense the quarterback wants or it's the offense the head coach wants, because those have been the 2 constants with this team over the last few years. And like you said, it's been a decent offense. They do good things. They rely on these receivers to win one-on-one matchups too often. And they can do that. AJ Brown and Devontae Smith can do that some. But again, we haven't seen them be able to perform at a high level when they need to in some of these games, late when they need that. If this team's facing a lot of 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 8s, it's tough to really believe that they're going to succeed. And no team really succeeds when you've got a lot of 3rd and longs. But I just have genuine concern that this offense, the way Jalen Hurts and the way the Eagles are playing it right now, is sustainable if you're getting yourselves into those kinds of situations. Like if it's crunch time, you've got a 3rd and 8. Man, can you get that first down throwing the football? Or 4th and 6? Can you get that first down throwing the football? We saw them do it last week on that AJ Brown slant, and that was there. So, I mean, it is in there. I do believe that it is all in there, that they can figure this out. And even going back to that Steelers game, I feel like the offense looked differently in that Steelers game. There were different route concepts in that Steelers game that helped him get the ball out faster, helped him get the ball out quicker. I just don't know why we don't see that every week. I don't know why there's no consistency with that on a weekly basis. And so that's my big question. I agree with you. I think they're giving Jalen what he's comfortable with, but I think Jalen is comfortable with some of the quick hitters, the stuff over the middle, mesh concepts. The kind of play that Dallas Goedert had, that big breaking run against New Orleans earlier in the season. Like, we just haven't seen that kind of stuff over the last month and a half, 2 months or so.
Yeah, it's like they're teasing us with it. We'll see. I'm going to ask you about Jaden Daniels now. All right, John, because I was listening to Ben Johnson's opening press conference in Chicago yesterday, and he's talking about QB success, and that being basically the number one predictor of wins and losses in the modern NFL. Overtaking turnovers, which used to be the biggest predictor of wins and losses. So obviously a very important position in football. Well, they have the great equalizer right now, Washington. Like you said earlier in the segment, I feel great about every position on the field, but they got Jaden Daniels, who's playing as good as anybody in the league. I think he could be playing as good as Josh Allen or Mahomes has in this playoffs. I mean, in the last 2 games, he's been unbelievable. What do you see from him? Is he the most impressive rookie quarterback you've ever seen? And if you're Vic Fangio, what are you doing to try and get him off his spot and slow him down?
Yeah, he's clearly the most advanced rookie quarterback we've ever seen. No rookie quarterback has ever won an NFC championship game. And you'd like to keep that streak rolling along here on Sunday, but I haven't seen a rookie quarterback play this well in the playoffs ever. What he's doing is amazing. And the way you disrupt him is to pressure him up the middle. That's going to be the key to get Milton Williams, to get Jalen Carter in his face up the middle. And then you got to have integrity with your pass rush on the outside. You can't run past him and let him roll to the outside and make plays on the run and burn you for a 15-yard running play. It's got to be a disciplined rush from the Eagles here on Sunday in order to keep him bottled up in the pocket. And even when he's in the pocket, he can still make all the throws. And that's the thing that scares you about him. You might bottle him up and keep him from running, but he can still make all the throws. The thing you want to prevent him from doing is stepping into his throws, stepping up in the pocket. And the only way to do that is for your defensive tackle rotation to get in there. Moro Jomo is having a really nice first season for a guy who was drafted so late. But Milton Williams, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, those guys have to get some penetration up front. I feel good about that matchup. San Cosme's out. It should be a matchup that favors Philadelphia. They should be able to get in his face a little bit. I think, we look back at that second Commanders game the Eagles played, and we remember the game-winning touchdown that Jaden Daniels had, but we forget about the interception that he threw with 4.5 minutes left.
Yep, I said that.
Really should have sealed the game. That should have been nail in the coffin. If Devontae Smith catches that ball over the middle, they did give him one more chance, and then he went down and took advantage of it. But Jaden Daniels has played 2 games against the Eagles. The first game dealing with a rib injury, probably was not at his best. Eagles did a great job against him. Second game, the Eagles again should have won that game, and they should have taken advantage of that late interception by Daniels. So the Eagles know how to play him. They've played him twice. Nothing that he does is going to surprise them. And they have the personnel, probably the only defense in the NFL that has the kind of personnel that I think can slow Jaden Daniels down on Sunday afternoon. They just have to do it.
Yeah, it's always something boring, John. And I think that Sam Cosme injury destroys Washington in this game because he's their best offensive lineman. And I don't even know if he can deal with Jalen Carter the way Jalen Carter's playing, but he's a very good player. And obviously he's going to be, if he was healthy, he's going to be serviceable at the bare minimum. Now they're going to start Trent Scott, who's played very little, and say, go block Jalen Carter. And obviously they're going to slide everything to Jalen Carter on basically every play. But I really think that's going to be the difference in the game. But here's where we are with Jaden Daniels. And Zander could tell you, I got shit on by pointing out, hey, you know what, Eagles fans, Jaden Daniels is having a better season than Jalen Hurts. He's already got the rookie record, 46 completions in the postseason already. Mm-hmm. He's got 4 touchdowns in the playoffs, no interceptions, 116 passer rating. He's got 14 wins. You know, we talk about, Jalen Hurts. It's about winning. He's got 14 wins with the Washington Commanders, who had 4 last year, I believe.
Yeah.
And have been a disaster for the entire Daniel Snyder era, basically. If he wins the NFC Championship game, he becomes the first rookie quarterback to start a Super Bowl if he comes out of it healthy. He surpasses Ben Roethlisberger for the most wins by a rookie quarterback ever. And it was interesting because we asked Vic that question. Is this the best rookie quarterback? And Vic's been around for 40 years. Mm-hmm. And for those who know, Vic doesn't lie. And he sat there and he was thinking about it for 10, 20 seconds. And he went, yeah, probably.
He went through the Rolodex in his mind.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, this is the best rookie quarterback of all time. It's amazing. I think the Eagles are going to win the game, but and Zander pointed this out. This is if we want to make the basketball comparison, this is a Michael Jordan guy who can take over a game and beat you by himself. That's my only concern is Jaden Daniels.
Well, I hate to throw this comparison out because he is just a rookie, but he's playing the way Patrick Mahomes plays, right? Going back to that Super Bowl, it was 57. The Eagles outplayed the Chiefs in that game for most of the game. That was a Patrick Mahomes Houdiniac magic show. He won that game for the Chiefs. The Eagles had a better roster. Patrick Mahomes won that game. It's kind of the same thing here with Washington. Maybe not to that degree, because I don't want to say that Jaden Daniels is Patrick Mahomes, but he's playing at a level where he's elevating the rest of his teammates. He's elevating, outside of Terry McLaurin, a mediocre to okay receiving core. He's resurrected Zach Ertz from the dead. They don't really have a dynamic running game to lean on. So, Brian Johnson, Austin Eckler, they're okay, but they don't really move the needle all that much in terms of running the football. And the defense gets gashed on a weekly basis. So he's got to do it all. So you just wonder, at some point, will it all cave in on the Commanders? Where Jaden Daniels, it's just the run ends, and you think, okay, on to next year. Does the party stop, or are we looking at history? And those are the two options here. Are we looking at true history with the Washington Commanders, or does the party end in Philadelphia on Sunday afternoon to a degree? And I think it's one of those two things.
Yeah, I think people are in denial about Jaden Daniels. I mean, you get ripped in the chat for saying the kid is good. The kid is playing.
I don't know how anybody
45 on the Lions, and everyone's like, the Lions defense stinks. They're still NFL players. They're still an NFL defense in the division round of the playoffs. This kid is a great equalizer, man. I would not take him lightly, but I do feel good about the rest of the game outside of him. But like John, I'm with John. I mean, I'm with John. What John just said, he has the ability to take over and keep this team in it. And if you're Vic Fangio going up against Cliff Kingsbury, what do you think of that matchup, John? He's been really good for them, Cliff Kingsbury. He really fits Jaden Daniels' style of play. What do you think of that matchup?
Yeah, and that's what worries me about this matchup is all the quick hitters, the tempo that Cliff Kingsbury likes to do. The Eagles are going to have to be really good. Eagles are going to have to tackle really well on Sunday afternoon, and they've been doing a good job of tackling over the course of these 2 games here in the playoffs. They're going to need to do that because what the Commanders want to do is they want to spread everything out. They want to get everybody out wide. They will go heavy some, but when Cliff Kingsbury is in his bag, he's got everybody out wide. He's creating space. He's making you run to the ball and tackle. And so the Eagles are going to have to do a good job of tackling on Sunday afternoon. I think if you're looking at just pure matchups, I would go with Vic Fangio over Cliff Kingsbury in a battle of wits here, based on what we've seen from Vic Fangio. But that's not a slight against Kingsbury. He's been fantastic this year for Washington. But I also look at Kingsbury's history and I realize how much of this is Kingsbury and how much of this is Jaden Daniels elevating even his offensive coach's game. And I think there's a lot to be said there for that as well. But I think Vic Fangio, maybe it's the first possession, 2 possessions. Sometimes with the Eagles defense and Vic, it's a feeling out process. What are they doing here? What are they trying to do to us? And then he dials in. We might see that on Sunday afternoon. Washington have a little bit of success early. The key will be mid-second quarter on, how are things looking? And that's if the Eagles can start to exert control defensively middle of the second quarter, I like our chances to end up winning that game on Sunday.
All right, at John Stolnis, make sure you follow John on the X platform. Does a tremendous job covering the Eagles for Bleeding Green Nation. You can read him over there. Hopefully the Eagles can keep it going down to New Orleans and he doesn't have to worry about baseball as early. I thought it was interesting. You brought up, what's the best inaugural season in Philadelphia history. And I'm glad you brought up Steve Carlton from 1972 because people are automatically going to default to Saquon, which has been tremendous. But anyway, long-winded, nice poll by you. Prediction time. Right, we haven't even seen. We're going to see Jalen Hurts on the practice field later this afternoon. So obviously, you're right to change it. But your early feeling on this, again, third NFC Championship game at Lincoln Financial Field in 8 years.
I think Jalen is going to be a little limited. I don't think he's going to be 100%. But obviously, I don't think they would play him if he couldn't do a good job and if he wasn't somewhat mobile in the pocket. If he isn't as mobile, I want to see a different game plan for this team. I think I'm going to pick the Eagles to win just because I can't envision a world in which the Commanders, as the number 6 seed, come into Philadelphia and win an NFC Championship game with a rookie quarterback, even one playing as well as Jaden Daniels is. This feels to me kind of like that Mike Vick 2004 playoff run where, he's on a heater and he comes into Philadelphia and the Philadelphia crowd, the defense just kind of shuts everything down and the Eagles win this game. But I think it's going to be close for a lot of the game. I think the Eagles will pull away in the fourth quarter. I'll say Eagles win this game 30-21.
Oh, I like it. Bigger than I was thinking. I'll take it, though. I'll take it, John.
It's close until the end. It's close until the end. A Saquon Barkley touchdown run with 3 minutes left.
60 yards. 60 yards.
That makes sense. Yeah. And we've seen that enough for it to be a good prediction. So I'll take it. John, good stuff, man. We appreciate it. Make sure you guys follow John as the other John mentioned at John Stolnis on X. John, appreciate it, brother. We'll talk to you again soon. Maybe on the build up to a Super Bowl, maybe. Let
me know. Right. I'll be here.
All right, good stuff. Thank you,
Thanks,
John.
Bud.
Yep.
There's John Stolnis joining us here on Birds 365. Great stuff from John Stolnis. Love listening to John. It's been a minute since we've had John on, so good to hear him break it down and give us his thoughts on this game, John. I think Eagles fans are asleep on this Jaden Daniels.
Oh my God. How could you? I mean, come on, guys.
I really do. Look, people are telling me he's a rookie. He's going to regret. Okay, fine. That's next year, though. We're playing him right here, right now. Right now, he's playing like a top 5 football in the NFL. I don't care what you say. I don't care what team you're a fan of. He's that good, and we got to play him this weekend. So
I agree with those people that there will be adjustments. You saw it with C.J. Stroud last year, who had a great rookie season.
Yeah, but that's next year. Like, how does that have to do with this?
No,
game?
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm agreeing with you. Not that, and by the way, not that Jaden hasn't been better. He's been better than C.J. Stroud last year. But people will adjust, and there will be hiccups down the road. Right now, I mean, he's playing the way he's playing. And they are where they are. And they've won 14 games. The Eagles have won 16 games. The Eagles are better. I've said that consistently. From the moment they beat the Rams, I said, all right, they're going to the Super Bowl. And I still believe that. But this player is special. And I don't see how anybody can debate that. But they can, obviously.
No doubt about it. We'll see how it all plays out this weekend. Johnny Mac should be a good game. John, I brought up that. Did you see that interview or the press conference yesterday with Ben Johnson? I know you were busy.
I saw clips of it.
Did you see that? I thought that was an interesting thing you threw out there about quarterbacks.
Well, I think it's kind of obvious, but I think his point was analytically, like, I think people default to turnover ratio. And he said quarterback play is a better indicator. Well, to me, it's kind of obvious. I mean, if you are a great quarterback, you're going to win. I always bring up Green Bay, because they had between Rodgers, Favre and Rodgers, they had about a quarter century of Hall of Fame quarterback play consecutively. And they always went into every game. I always joke about how entitled their fan base still is really. They went into every game thinking they were going to win the game. And by the way, they were right to think that way. Because when you have the better quarterback every single week, that is a better indicator of success. I think that's what Ben was trying to say than anything. Statistically, the best statistics are certainly, and the Eagles believe, if you win the turnover ratio, and that's what they've done this season, and you win the explosive play battle, their numbers will tell you, basically an act of God would have to happen to make you lose a football game. And that pretty much bears out over the long term. But to Ben's point, and Patrick Mahomes is the best example now, you got a cheat code. If you have the best quarterback, you have a cheat code. So, and I don't think Caleb Williams is getting to that point.
Okay, who's the better quarterback this weekend?
Well, the better quarterback is the better quarterback. Jaden Daniels is the better quarterback. It's not even a fucking debate. Stop. Stop it. Stop.
No, we got to stop it. Let's stop it on a Thursday edition of Birds 365. All right, we have an hour left to play here on this Thursday edition. We are inching closer to the NFC title game. We're going to dive into some matchups on the game. We'll take some comments from the chat, some super chats. If anybody has any and you want to put them out there, we will hit them all, even if they are in disagreement with what we are saying. That is perfectly fine. We appreciate all of you guys for being in here. Let's get to our commercial break. Before I do that, I want to tell you guys about the great people at BetUS. Go check them out. We appreciate them for sponsoring the 2-hour show today. Use the promo code YouTube150. Gives you 150% sign-up bonus on your very first deposit. And you get 125% on your second and third deposit, all up to $2,000. So deposit less and bet with more at BetUS. Go to betus.com.pa and use that promo code. We'll be back in 3 minutes, everybody, on Birds 365.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The following is a real testimonial from the father of a young injured victim.
I didn't think she was going to make it.
Major Perry's daughter was the victim of a horrific accident caused by someone else's negligence.
If you don't find the right counselor, law firm that you're looking for, you will get lost in the wilderness.
Badly injured? Call the Fritz and Bianculli Law Firm at 215-458-2222 and find out why they say, "We got this."
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong as the #1 health insurer in the region. No IBX is always looking out for you.
We noticed that there was mold creeping into our basement about a year and a half ago, and wanted to make sure that we were getting rid of the problem permanently. We actually reached out to several different contractors to get it resolved, and actually 2 of them recommended DryTech to us as a long-term solution. Other than the noise factor, we wouldn't even know that there was work being done on the basement level. It's really been a clean process for us.
Score and save this football season on your car insurance. Before the next game, save up to 40% on your auto insurance policy. That's right, 40% savings. Call an audible this season and contact the Del Val Insurance Group. They're an advocate for you, not an insurance company. That means they'll get you the right coverage and save you up to 40%. Call managing partners Fran or Jim of Del Val Insurance, 215-354-0122, or score and save at dvigi.com. dvigi.com.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Welcome back in, everybody, to a Thursday edition of Birds 365 here on JAKIB Sports. I'm your host, Zander Krause. That's John McMullen next to me, the #1 Eagles beat reporter in town, breaking down this game for everybody. John, what's on the docket today for the Philadelphia Eagles? You spoke with Jalen yesterday. You spoke with AJ, a couple different players. What's on the docket today for the Birds?
It's NFC Championship game week, so we're going to be able to speak to Nick Sirianni again today, I think at 1:25. The NFL comes in and forces people to talk more.
Is the media room filling up, John? Is there more?
Yeah, there's more, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Zach Bond and Jordan Mailata tentatively are getting the podium treatment today. And the locker room will be open. But the most important part is practice at Lincoln Financial Field. 2:25. We'll get to see not only Jalen Hurts, but we'll get to see the status of Dallas Goedert. If he's back out there, obviously that would be positive. Cam Jurgens. Those are the 3 names you're going to look at. We know Jalen Hurts is going to play. Just we're going to be looking at, does he have a brace on? What's his mobility look like? I imagine he's going to have at least a compression type brace on at the bare minimum. Hopefully it's not one of the metal ones, then it becomes a bigger concern. Goddard and Jurgens are going to be the key. And the NFL, by the way, and the AP just came out with the finalists for all the major awards. Saquon Barkley is a finalist for a lot of Eagles, MVP, as he should be. Finalist for Offensive Player of the Year, which he will win. Zach Bond is a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year, well-deserved. Jaden Daniels, finalist for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Hint, he's going to win. Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell are both finalists for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Coach of the Year, this one is I'm glad Andy Reid is a finalist. Andy Reid's a finalist. And Nick Sirianni is not. I mean, Vic Fangio is a finalist for Assistant Coach of the Year. Should win it. I think Ben Johnson will win it. So those are your awards. And I did have a vote in it. I can't tell you who I voted for.
When can you disclose this to us?
NFL Honors. It happens, the show that, day before the Super Bowl, when they give out the awards. So, those are the finalists. A lot of Eagles. Well deserved. But Nick Sirianni, man, I'll tell you what does that guy have to do? What does that guy have to do?
I don't know, John. He's hurt himself in the eye. And look, I understand the way you break it down, but the perception that he's put out, and clearly not to just people in Philly, has hurt him.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. But, I think people should really think about what they're doing when, I find even people in Philadelphia who will say that about Jalen. What's it about? He wins. Well, why isn't that the same standard for the coach? I don't know.
Well, some people will say, well, how do you compare him to a coach like Andy, who makes every decision in the room and doesn't
Well, I
have
think
it,
I think Andy's a little bit different. I'm not even advocating he should be above Andy, but the other guys, it's always about Andy's the only one who's a finalist that had the massive expectations. So typically, and I say it all the time, coach of the year is really coach who exceeded expectations. And, Dan Campbell's in there as well. And obviously, they were good, but Kevin O'Connell's probably going to win it because they grossly exceeded expectations until the playoffs. Sean Payton grossly exceeded expectations. Dan Quinn grossly exceeded expectations. That's what the award's about. So, and that's why I say, but then you go to assistant coach of the year, and I do believe that Ben Johnson's going to win it. Maybe I'm wrong. Why that should be big for the same reason. He's the guy, as John Stolnis just said, took over the worst defense in the NFL at the end of last season and turned them into the best defense. But I would bet on Ben Johnson. Splashiness, offense, blah, blah, blah.
Good stuff, John. We got a couple super chats we'll get to. I'll take a couple more super chats if we get them in the chat today. I got some things that we're going to break down too, but those are the awards finalists. I'll just recap that real quick, John. You gave them all to us. Saquon Barkley, finalist for MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. Zach Bond, finalist for Defensive Player of the Year. Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, both finalists for Defensive Rookie of the Year. And Vic Fangio, a finalist for Assistant Coach of the Year. Pretty good squad we got here in Philly, everybody. So good stuff there. We appreciate that. Let's go to our super chats. Brian Pumper. Everybody's having an issue with Brian Pumper today. Pump, you're a great supporter and you're appreciated here on JAKIB. I don't care what anybody in the chat says. Jaden Daniels is a generational talent. This is a real triple threat QB, unlike one trick pony Hurts. I wish we had an equalizer like JD5.
I don't know how much of Brian's comments are trolls or I hate the term generational talent, but yeah, he's a generational talent. Jaden Daniels. I agree with
he is, and Brian. I think he is really a dual threat at least. What does triple threat mean? Run, pass, and what? Use your brain.
Has used it. Yes, use your brain. Jalen has used it in the past that his goal is to be a triple threat quarterback.
Meaning the brain, right?
Meaning handle things at the line of scrimmage, protections when he talks about all that kind of stuff. And his credit, like the 62-yard run. Look, has been a big story this week. He audibilized to the right call, and Saquon broke it with the help of Mekhi Becton on Christian Roseboom. That poor guy. Oof. I can't get over it.
You've been crushing Roseboom.
I mean, my look, I don't know if you saw the NFL films because Saquon brought up how cool it was to see the NFL films on field version of his 78-yard touchdown. And I just, it is a pretty cool video. So for people that haven't seen it, you can go to NFL Films.
Yeah, you're talking about the one with the music, and you can see the lineman. Landon Dickerson's like looking up to the sky. It's hilarious.
But the on-field part of it is like, there's Roseboom out of his gap and bang. I'm like, that poor guy. I can't believe they didn't have somebody who. But anyway, I digress. I'm sorry, Roseboom family.
Yeah, you're crushing Roseboom. Texas T checks in. What's up, Texas T? Good to see you in here. Why do you think this game is more favorable than playing the Lions? I always thought the Lions would be the better matchup because of Daniels. That's an interesting take. I would say because the Lions.
Well, number one, it's in Detroit, and if you've ever been there, it's a hellhole.
Similar. Yeah, but the weird thing about the Detroit Lions this year, John, is all three of their losses came at home. They were undefeated on the road.
Well, that's fine. I mean, they didn't lose a lot, and obviously they lose in the playoffs. So,
right.
Obviously people are going to point to that, but nobody wants to go to Detroit because it's so loud and it's such a difficult place to play. So that's number one. Number two, they're the more talented team The more talented team doesn't always win. There are upsets every week in the NFL. You used to have this argument with Jody all the time. Well, the best team wins. No, they don't. That's no fun. Why would you even watch sports if the best team won every time? It's not even remotely close to true. So they were the better team, the more talented team, by a wide margin, by the way. And if they played that game tomorrow, they probably win. And yeah, they had a lot of issues defensively. And I'm not even talking about if Hutchinson was there and McNeil was there, and then they would have, really blown people off the field and all the other defenders that were hurt. But they were still more talented. And why would you want to face a more talented team on the road if you can face a team you're clearly better than at home? Where, as I said, you won by this is your third championship game in 8 years. You won the first two by a combined score of 69-14. Home road, basically, you don't even have to get to the rest of it. You want to be at home, especially when you have a home field advantage like the Eagles have.
No doubt about it. By the way, the finalists, John, for the MVP, I was waiting to see these 5. Saquon is a finalist. Obviously, we just mentioned that. Josh Allen, Saquon, Joe Burrow, Jared Goff, Lamar Jackson. I know everybody's going to vote Lamar. I think it should be Josh Allen or Saquon.
By the way, that's my exact top 5. I can tell you that.
Those 5 players are your exact top 5. Yeah, I feel like who would have been 6 or 7? Like, is there anybody that was close to those? We all know we can't put Pumpkin Darnold in. What a great season, Sammy boy. We all know we can't put Pumpkin Darnold on the freaking MVP finalist.
Again, well, but you can laugh, but he'll get votes. He'll get votes.
Sure he will.
He'll get top. This is top 5. This is a regular season award, first of all. So forget about the playoff game.
Yeah, right.
We vote on it before the playoffs. It's a regular season award. Look at his numbers. I mean, yeah, he's going to get votes.
All right, John, I want to give you something. I got a special message from a special person today, all right? And they texted me, and they're not very tech savvy, so they don't know how to super chat, okay? And they texted me, I want you to mention that the Super Bowl is February 9th, and Saquon's birthday is February 9th. Is it in the script that they will be going to the Super Bowl for Saquon Barkley? All right.
Yeah, I don't.
That's not a John McMullen topic right there. No, I'll tell you that.
That is not. Yeah. I don't believe in those types of things. But no, there's no NFL script.
No,
but trust me, if there was an NFL script, the New York teams wouldn't be direct for a decade. I'm always amazed by the conspiracy people. Yes. Now the Eagles win because the Eagles are good. And Kansas City wins because Kansas City's good. And again, yeah, there's bad calls in every sport. You turn on the NBA tomorrow or the NHL, whatever your favorite is. You can watch balls and strikes in baseball. Human beings make mistakes. There's going to be bad calls against your team. There's going to be good calls against your team. Nobody's out to get you.
John, you have completely broken me on officiating. I can't.
Well, I mean, I think that's right.
I really do.
I think
it's so stupid, and you watch games, and everybody is just constantly.
Oh, that's all they can pay. They don't care about anything else.
I know, it's amazing, but you've completely broken me on it. I'm at a point now where I don't give a shit at all. It has no impact on me.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't. When you, it's like the old 5 stages of grief. When you acceptance, when you accept, you can't control it. So there's nothing you can do about it. All you can do It's like when Vic Fangio is talking about, well, what do you do when you come on the field and they, he got the question, you got to come on the field after a sudden change and you got to defend 20 yards or so. It's like there's nothing you can do. You can go out there and control your situation. Hold them to a field goal. That's our goal. You get a bad call, you get a good call. Control what you can control.
Good stuff there, Johnny Mac. And Martine checks in. Appreciate all of our members yesterday. We got a lot of new members yesterday. We gave away some merch. I'm going to see if I got something for today, but I'm telling you, I'm running low. I got to get back again and get some more merch to give away for the Super Bowl run, maybe. We'll see how it plays out. And Martine, member for 3 months. I just hope C.J. Gardner-Johnson behaves himself. I still wonder to this day what he said for the first flag really hurt the defense when he got tossed. The game flipped.
I think he did learn his lesson because he's been talking about it since then. He said, admitted he's got to be, basically how important he is to the team. He's got to understand the situation. So I think he grew up a little bit. So there's an example of a silver lining. But doesn't matter what he said. It matters that he got thrown out of the game because he had 2. Not 1, 2. And he can't do that. And you got to be more disciplined. And he understood it. And he's verbalized that on numerous occasions. So yeah, maybe it's a good thing in the long term.
Good stuff there from Martine checking in. John, I want to ask you before, because I got a couple matchups in mind for this game. We talk about styles make fights and matchups and everything in games, and that's part of what makes the game so fun. From your perspective, who are the matchups you're watching in this game?
Travis Scott, whatever. I'm calling him Travis.
Yeah, we had real quick. We had John Keim on last night, Commanders reporter for ESPN. He was like, Jalen Carter destroyed Cosme when Cosme played, and they did everything. They brought help. They did everything to try and stop him, and he still was terrorizing them. Now you have a backup in there, a guy who, if it's the Trent Scott guy, John Keim says he hasn't played guard since 2021.
Yeah. It's a disaster.
So, I mean, this guy is destroyed.
Yeah, they'll put the Aaron Donald treatment on Jalen Carter every single play. They will put a double team on Jalen Carter. They have to. Right alone, that gives the Eagles an advantage. Just having to do that. One of the Eagles talk about it all the time behind the scenes. One of their biggest luxuries is they just put Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata on islands and say, all right, go to work. Other teams got to chip and do this, and they got tight ends got to chip, running backs got to chip. Eagles are like, that's such a luxury, which is more disgusting when you talk about their passing game, by the way. But it's such a luxury for them that other teams have to spend half their weeks dealing with.
Yeah.
And that's the case here. That is a huge injury. And I said, it's always something boring. And John's right. Not that Sam Cosme can stop Jalen Carter, because he can't, but he's a good player.
Right. He's better.
Yeah. And now they got a backup who's really not a guard. Now, maybe lightning can strike, but he ain't Mekhi Becton either. It's not like
I don't think their plan is to have Trent Scott stop him. I think their plan is, Jaden, look out for this dude and try and make him miss when he gets
there.
Well,
they're gonna keep him mobile. They're gonna roll the pocket. They're gonna do a bunch of things. But it starts with they're gonna slide protection to Jalen Carter on every single snap. And that's why it's always the boring stuff. And that's what I said to John.
Yeah, it is.
If you think about it and think about it from this perspective, the most famous play, at least in modern Philadelphia Eagles history, is the Philly Special, right?
Right, definitely.
Everybody knows the Philly Special. Capati's got a podcast named after it. Who's our buddy? Which one of them? I get him,
Josh Davis. Josh Davis. Shout out to him, by the way. He hit 100,000 subscribers. So good job,
Josh Davis has got his own show called the Philly Special. Everything's Philly Special, Philly Special. I maintain Frank Reich agreed with me. Biggest play in that game was 4th and 1 conversion. Zach Ertz. Second biggest play was Brandon Graham's strip sack.
Yep.
But everybody remembers the Philly special. Splashy, splashy, splashy. You go back to last week, division round, 78-yard touchdown, NFL films, snow.
Right.
Eagles are selling it $50 a pint. If you buy that, you're an idiot, by the way. Yeah. If you buy it, you're an idiot. They're selling the snow.
Oh, I'm so happy you brought that up. $50 for some
$50 for a pint of snow. And by the way, I stood there. I was there for 3.5 hours. Nobody was picking up the snow. They probably got it at the loading dock. And they're selling $50 freaking snow pint. That's talk about a
somebody DM me, please buy the snow and give it away on the channel. I'm like, no, no,
yeah,
no, I am Nixon.
So
now.
anyway, God bless. Yeah. God bless Don Smolinski. If they can sell it, sell it. God bless them. But anyway, obviously that play will be in lore forever. Jalen Carter won the game with a pass rush. Yeah, people will remember it, but it's not going to be legendary. That play will go down legendary. Philly special, legendary. Bigger play, 4th and 1.
That play's only legendary if the Eagles win the Super Bowl because it's a division.
Well, yeah, you got to win. You got to win. And the only reason they won is because Jalen Carter, back-to-back pass rushes. But, that's, it's always something. It's always the little things.
There you go. John, give me another matchup you liked. I think that's obviously the biggest one there. Jalen Carter up against their tackles. I mean, I'll go to one that I think, and I'll get your perspective on that one, and then I'll have you give me one. You mentioned Cam Jurgens on the injury report. I think Cam Jurgens is going to play. I don't think Cam Jurgens isn't going to play. But they do have good interior on their defensive line. Their edges are kind of weak. I mean, Fowler's good. But their interior play with Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen is really good. That's going to be a little bit of a task. And if Cam Jurgens is not 100% for whatever reason, that could be something to watch out for.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty clear he's not going to be 100%. And the reason that the Cam Irving signing, as I mentioned, was a little bit, I'm like, that's weird. So I got a little more concerned about Cam Jurgens. And maybe that ends this afternoon when we get out to practice and he's out there and everything's fine. But, I think they have big names. They haven't, Deron Payne hasn't had a great season. Jonathan Allen was hurt most of the season.
Yeah, he's back now.
Yep. Back. Yeah, he's back. Very good player when he's healthy, but he hasn't played much this season. So I don't know how
he was pretty good in that playoff game last week versus Detroit. I think he's got eight pressures already in 2 games.
Yeah, he's a good player. So if he's healthy and he's a very good player. He's probably their, I don't know now that they have Bobby Wagner, but certainly has been their best defensive player. But that was big to get him back. But I'm always, I just wrote about it this week. I mean, I had 2 former GMs reach out to me on the same day and say, this is one of the best offensive lines. In the one case, one of the best offensive lines they've ever seen in the first case. And the second one said all time. And it got me thinking, is this one of the best offensive lines of all time? And I think the answer is yes. Of all time.
Yeah, which is crazy. But let me ask you this, though, because I agree with that 100%. And I think they're the biggest factor in Saquon Barkley having a historic season, which he might. It's conceivable, John, if this team makes the Super Bowl, he could go over 3,000 total yards this year. I think he'd be the first player ever to do that. So, insane.
Well, he could break Terrell Davis's record this week.
Yeah, he could. And I think he will, by the way. But how are you grading out this team in pass blocking on the offensive line? I've seen a lot of talk about that. Is Jalen's holding the ball? I know, but there are people who have been critical of Becton in pass blocking. And,
Becton had a bad day.
As good in pass blocking as run blocking. What do you say to that? Have you seen that? What do you think?
I have not seen it. If they're talking about once, but Mekhi did not have a good game in pass blocking, which happens. You can't be phenomenal every week. And again, we're talking about maybe, you know, the worst player on the Eagles offensive line, and that's pretty good position to be in. Again, when you compare it to other teams, no, it's absurd. The Eagles pass protection is the best in football. Period. End of sentence. And you can't hold on to the football the way the Eagles hold on to the football and expect sacks not to happen. So again, the sacks, and I wish you put up that clip again every day. I wish you would put it up. Whether it's who was talking, I forget
Cam
already.
Jordan.
Yeah, Cam,
right?
who
Cam
was
Jordan
phenomenal. Yeah, who was phenomenal. Chris Long does it all the time.
Yeah.
You got to look at every individual sack. And these are edge rushers. These are great edge rushers.
Yeah, great.
Telling you sometimes sacks are bullshit.
And the way he explained it even after that, just very quickly, was really good. It was really good.
Yeah. Cam's a very smart dude as well. His dad went to Brown, by the way, but and he went to Cal, I believe. So very smart family. Yeah. So everybody should watch that. You should retweet it every day. But
I'll retweet it again if somebody wants to go check it out. Go follow me on X at Real Zander. Follow John at JF McMullen. All right, good stuff there. I will retweet that clip again. That's good stuff there, Johnny Mac. All right, John. Any other matchup in this game that's getting your attention or that you're focused on going into the game? We just mentioned two that were both trenches. But what do you think? Anything else?
I mean, from the standpoint of receiver, we talked a little bit earlier in the show about AJ and Lattimore, but how much are the Eagles going to throw the ball? If they throw it more, that's going to be interesting. If they continue to throw it 15 to 20 times a game, probably not as interesting. I talked about Eckler. That's very interesting. That's a small thing that I think could hurt the Eagles. And even in multiple ways, because you would think you have to, if I'm Vic Fangio, like I have to, Zach Bond's job, most of his job is going to be dealing with Jaden Daniels. Just has to be. Just has to be. So Warren Burks is going to have to deal with Eckler. And that's one of the few where you say, all right, that's a big advantage for Washington. N'Kobe's out there. I think it's a little bit different. I think you could mix some things up, yada, yada, yada. So I think that's an interesting matchup. And I tried to get Vic to bite on, Jeremiah Trotter's a little bit of a better athlete. Maybe get him out there. But he was like, they're about the same. So I don't know. Jordan Mailata, by the way, real quick to our previous number 2 in pass protection in the NFL at tackle. Lane Johnson, 6th. That's pretty good. So think about it from the perspective of there's 64 starting tackles. Your tackles are one's number 2, one's number 6. And by the way, if you add in the context of how often they're on an island, it's even better than that compared to other guys. I mean, and guard is not quite as good, obviously, because you have 2 great players, but Landon Dickerson scores very highly as a pass protector. And Mekhi Becton, again, is he one of the best? No, he's not one of the best. But when that's your worst offensive lineman, you're in pretty good shape. And in Cam Jurgens' estimation, again, just a rock solid player in both aspects. Not a superstar like Kelsey. Probably a little bit better as a run blocker, I would say, than pass blocker. But again, that has to do with Saquon more than anything else, and the fact that they don't pass the ball well.
Do you expect Jalen to run a lot in this game, or are you thinking it's not going to?
No, I expect they'll run the tush push. No.
John, that changes the game, man.
Well, I agree. That's, if he's not, I think, and these are not even real numbers as I started the show with, but when everybody throws out, is he 90% or 80%? Well, those numbers are always bullshit. But how close he is to being himself might be the one thing that can ship this game for Washington. If he's healthy, I think the Eagles win going away. I'm not going to predict 38-7. I'm never going to predict 38-7. I'm never going to predict 31-7. But, Minnesota was better than Washington coming into that game.
Right.
San Francisco was better than Washington coming into that game. The Eagles destroyed both of those teams in the NFC Championship game. I think the same could happen here. I'm not going to predict it. You can never predict things. A lot of things have to go wrong. A lot of things have to go right.
You're saying it's plausible the Eagles could blow
it's plausible they could run this team off the field. From their perspective, I think that the worst part of their situation is everybody. Everybody. How many times will you hear this week saying, well, Washington's playing with house money? I heard Tom Brady say it. Well, they're playing with house money. If they come in with that mentality, with that sentiment, they can get blown off the field. Because if they're satisfied, they could get blown off the field. And you say, all right, we've done what we've accomplished. We're better. We're ahead of where we should have been. And say, doesn't matter what happened. You're going to get blown off the field. If you come in to compete, and I think they're going to come in to compete because, that's what Dan Quinn's going to come in to win the game. He's going to go on fourth down. He's going to be aggressive. He's going to try to pull off the upset. But if they do, and part of it's just human nature, if they come in with that sentiment and there's a healthy Jalen Hurts, they can get blown off the field. If there is a Jalen Hurts who's significantly hampered and they play to win the game, it's probably going to be a game.
We'll see how that plays out. Did you see Jaden Daniels yesterday use the Hurtsism, the Hurtsism and on his press conference?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I was cracking up at that. I'm like, boy, that was either a good troll or there was no thought put into that at all. I'm not really sure, but I thought it was a good troll.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know. That's interesting. Is Jalen the first to keep?
Probably not, but
probably
Jalen
not.
really,
Probably not.
he's really built not a brand around it, but you know what I mean. I mean, he says it all the time.
No, yeah, he might. I don't think he would be, but there's so many cliches in football. They're all out there.
He said it with a very serious face, but I thought there might have been a little bit of
might have been a troll.
Yeah,
might have been a troll.
Keep the main thing. He said. Pretty good stuff there by Jaden Daniels. Got to tip the cap there on the troll. So good stuff by him here in this game, Johnny Mac. Look, I'm feeling good about the game because you're feeling. I mean, we talked before the show, and you're like, it could be. I mean, you just said it on the show. Could be a blowout. Part of that makes me feel like we should win this game, and then part of me makes it feel like it could just be one of those games. Look, we always play the Commanders close, all right? And now they've added this quarterback that's really, really good. I think this could be a really tight game. I do. I have a 3-point game right now in my early score.
They have such an advantage, and I'm gonna beat you to the punch with one of the super chats and Jeff Bone, the Bonehead. We have to dominate.
Johnny Mac calling a super chat.
Yeah, everything starts from he's right. Everything starts from the trenches. The Eagles are significantly better on both sides of the football up front. It's hard to win.
Yeah.
That's why the Eagles win every week.
Right.
When you lose in the trenches, it is hard to win.
Were we better on both sides of the ball, though, than the Rams? Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
in the trenches.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the game was close.
Yeah. And, that's why you need the other aspects to improve. Like, how many teams could win with 65 net passing yards? How many teams in the NFL?
There might be one team in the NFL. It's the Eagles.
There's your answer.
Do you agree with that? Who would you say?
No, I don't think there's another team that could win that one.
Holy shit. It's so funny, John, because
10 years.
it's so
10
funny.
years. Forget about winners, losers. There's never been a loser over the past 10 years. I haven't seen if anybody's gone back farther than that. In the past decade of postseason football, no team has ever thrown for less than 65 net passing yards. Even the losers.
This football team is defying modern football, John. Everything we've talked about, even some of the philosophies, though, that you very thoroughly explained and backed up with statistics and anything else you wanted to use to back it up, which was all real. They're defying it. They're defying it with a inept passing game that basically has no impact on the majority of the games that we win. A great running attack and a great defense.
Yeah. But and I think, and I'm glad people are starting to recognize it. The best part, and as I call them, the MVPs, plural, of the Philadelphia Eagles are the offensive line. As a group. From left to right, Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens, Mekhi Becton, Lane Johnson. That is your MVPs of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I agree with Brandon here. He says, this is football. When football was invented, we've come full circle. I agree.
Yeah, all we need is the leather helmets.
Well, John, it's funny because we laughed about this, though, early in the year. Early in the year. Are you just going to run your way to a Super Bowl? No way. Not in the modern NFL.
Yeah, again, I wish
8 quarters away.
And I get it because winning, keep the main thing the main thing. Winning is all that matters. And when you win, people tend to forget the context. And I'll just point out 13 yards away from losing. And
but just like I don't want to play coulda, woulda, shoulda on AJ Brown dropping.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. But I'm not talking about that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it to point out how close the margin of error is.
Yeah, I get it.
If Jalen Carter deserves all the credit in the world for destroying Bo Limmer, whatever the hell his name is, but again, Orlovsky put the play up. I know he did because that's where I saw it. I'm sure other people did.
Yeah. Defender
slipped. Guy's wide open. If he's got a clean pocket, and I don't know, maybe CJ could have came up and stopped him at the 1 or 2 yard line, but then you have still 45, 50 seconds to.
That was a textbook Stafford look right there. A guy breaking across the middle with a busted coverage. Yeah. I mean, Stafford doesn't miss those.
That's how close it was to potentially ending the season. And all these discussions we're talking about, you run the football, you stub the defense. That's how you win. You'd be shitting the bed, man. Oh my God, they lost to the Los Angeles Rams in the snow at Lincoln Financial Field because they couldn't throw the damn football. That's how close it was.
We'll see what happens this weekend. Should be a good one. Brian Pumper checks in. JD5 is Michael Jackson. Jalen Hurts is Tito. Who the hell is Tito? JD5 is a breed of one. The equalizer, that MFer is Denzel. Who is Tito?
Jackson 5. Tito, one of the Jackson brothers.
Tito Jackson 5.
The loser Jackson brother. Yeah, Michael Germain would probably be number 2. Tito
Jackson. All right, got him. Located. I see it. Oh, he died this year, Tito Jackson.
Oh, I'm sorry. Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Everybody, it's one of those things. I didn't know Tito died, but
September.
Yeah, one of the Jackson brothers. Jackson 5. In the days when Michael was before he was insane.
Ryan Pumper gets more and more. You got to tip the cap for the creativity. All right. You got to tip the cap for the creativity. I don't know where he comes up with some of this shit, but he does come up with it and it's all good.
By the way, Equalizer, those Denzel movies I enjoy them. They are, you're not a big movie guy,
No,
but
I certainly haven't
Denzel
seen
Washington, first of all, it's hilarious. He's like 63 and he's destroying, people like, but they're entertaining films. I encourage everybody. If you
my
enjoy
problem with
action,
movies is I just watch the same ones that I know I know it's going to be worth my time because
I think you would like. I think you would like The Equalizer, the
I'll check it
Denzel
out.
Washington.
I watched.
Equalizer.
You know what I watched last weekend, John? I watched Remember the Titans, baby. I'm like, I was in a football.
See,
movie.
I don't like sports movies. I got to get away from sports. I
understand that. I understand that. For what you do, I understand that.
Yeah. So I enjoy a good action thriller with Denzel Washington at 63, whatever he is.
Remember the Titans is more than a sports movie, though. I will say that there's social aspects.
I know, but I just have no interest. I'm sure, and I've seen it, and it's a great movie. It's just not. I'm not a big sports movie guy.
Yeah, I get it. I understand that for sure. All right, Johnny Mac, we got 13 minutes left in the show. Look, people want a wrestling podcast. Now they want JAKIB movie reviews in the offseason. This might be one of our off-season things. I got to start watching movies. Everybody wants me to watch all these movies. Callie says, Zander, we got to get you more cultured. I'm still trying. I still got to watch Sonic, or what was that movie? Sonic and Knuckles or whatever?
Sonic and Knuckles they're the characters. But Denzel, by the way, is 70, and he's still beating up people in the Equalizer movies. Come on.
Denzel is good. All right, I'll give you that. Johnny Vegas checks in with a super chat. He says Equalizer series is fantastic.
It is.
I'll have to add it to the list.
Johnny is correct. It is fantastic. It's tremendous. As long as you suspend your disbelief with Denzel's age.
Good stuff there, Johnny Mac. All right, John, 10 minutes left in the show today. Appreciate everybody in the chat, by the way. Don't forget to hit that like button for us. We appreciate all of you guys for being here. It's been a fun week of shows. We'll have another Football Friday episode tomorrow, and then we're gearing up. We're gearing up for this NFC title game, Johnny Mac. You mentioned you're going down there today. You're going to talk to Nick. Bird's going to practice today, full outside or what?
Yeah, Lincoln Financial Field practice. Again, practice fields are been frozen. It's been terribly cold in the Philadelphia area, so they'll be at Lincoln Financial Field about 2:25, I believe. I'm trying to look it up as we speak, but that's scheduled. They'll be on and they went to a walkthrough yesterday. So we didn't get to see where Jalen Hurts was from a perspective of again, we'll be watching to see if there's how big is the brace. I can't imagine he's not going to be wearing a brace.
I think he's going to be wearing a brace. Will the question be soft brace or hard brace? Is that a big difference?
That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
If it's the compression sleeve type brace, good sign.
Right.
If it's got the metal on it, probably not a good sign. So that'll be a big part of it. 2:25 is the exact time of the practice. So yeah, that'll be a big part of it. I did watch him yesterday walking through the locker room, walking at the auditorium. Didn't see a noticeable limp, so that's a good sign. But this is stuff you look at because they're not going to be honest.
No doubt. All right, here we go. I got one more super chat here. And then I got a good question in the chat. It's not a super chat, but I'm going to hit it anyway. Curtis, thanks for that question. I saw you put it in there. Kenny Sprague says, J-Mac is my spirit animal. I don't know what the hell he means by that, John, but congratulations. You are someone's spirit animal.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. Hopefully.
There you go, Kenny. Thank you, brother. He said he saw that smirk. Yeah, I was cracking up when I saw that come through. All right, Curtis says, ask John to compare locker room vibes in 2017, 22, and now. Curtis was saying earlier, he doesn't see the same type of hype and excitement from the team as he felt like he did in the past years that this team went to the Super Bowl. That clip from the NFC title game is floating around all over social media. They're all dancing on the field, singing Meek Mill.
You gotta wait. You gotta wait until they're on the field Sunday. I mean, that's the pregame vibes are different than I think this is a very confident team, almost to the point of cockiness, and they should be. I mean, that's part of being a good team. I always talk about it. I mean, they always think they have an advantage. We were talking about before the show with A.J. Brown against no matter who. You know, people talk, is so-and-so going to travel? They don't give a, you know what. Offensive line, same thing. They do not care. So-and-so is the number one rushing defense. Oh, they do this. They're great pass rushing. Rams are great pass rushing. They do not care. They know they have the advantage. Very, I would say this team is as competent. The 17 team was, that's interesting. I mean, that's the team that won. Look, I tell the story all the time. When they came back from Los Angeles, when Carson tore his ACL, it was like a week. I mean, everybody thought the season was, they won't admit it, but everybody thought the season was over. And people forget when Nick came in at the end of the regular season, it didn't look good. To the point where Doug Peterson, said, "All right, we gotta recalibrate the offense." And it was John DeFilippo's responsibility to figure out what Nick Foles was comfortable with and what he wanted to do and what he did well. And they shifted to more of an RPO driven focus because Nick was really, not that he was going to run the ball, but he was very good getting the ball out of his hands quickly, and the rest is history. So I would say this team is much more confident than that team at the end of that season, at the end. And then 2022 is similar because they were very good then as well. Similar cockiness, I would say. But they know they're good. They know they're good is how I would describe it.
We'll see how it all plays out. Johnny Vegas checks in. Johnny, appreciate it, brother. I like that name. It's like a movie name, isn't it? Johnny Vegas. Good name there, brother. We got to get you cast in one of these movies.
I doubt that's his given name, but
no,
maybe it is.
Don't have to. Most people are not using their given name in the chat. Can you blame them? I mean,
no,
this guy's by Apple, Macaulay, Commanders all day. I mean, come on,
Commanders all damn day. Yeah, I don't think that's his given name.
No, it's not. But Johnny Vegas is. I like that one. All right. It's a good stage name, okay? I understand the JD5 love, but it's going to be cold as an MFer out there for his skinny ass.
Hey, number one, it's breaking a little bit. It's supposed to be a little bit nicer. It's still going to be cold. I got news for you with the cold. Like, the skinniest MFer on the Eagles hates the cold.
Yeah.
But he plays well in the cold.
Smitty.
All these Georgia guys hate the cold. But, Jalen Carter played damn well in the cold. If you're good, you tend to overcome that stuff.
Good stuff there, Johnny Mac. John's
by the way, it's 39 degrees now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Going to be the high on Sunday right now.
There you go. Good stuff. Johnny, now everybody's debating whether their names are real. Macaulay is like, it's my middle name. All right, that's good. I appreciate that. I like that. That's pretty good. John, you're getting some, you're garnering some interesting comments today. I was going to refrain from putting this one up, but it's pretty funny. So for the sake of getting some comedic relief, because everybody was a little bit upset with us earlier in the show for talking about Jaden Daniels. So you're somebody's spirit animal. Okay, that's the first one. All right, Johnny Mac is a spirit animal now. And Johnny Mac is a sugar daddy, John.
Sugar daddy. I don't know. I don't know what that is. But I don't know about that, but no.
Someone says, out of respect for Mrs. J Mac, that should not be posted. All right. So I didn't.
You're going to get me in trouble with that one.
Yeah, no. Was Mrs. J Mac?
By the way, I couldn't be, even if I wanted to be, I couldn't be a sugar daddy because I could not. I don't have the ability to hide finances like that. So,
All right. Moving on. Johnny Mac, final thoughts on this show, man. We're 3 days out now. I think I feel pretty good about this game. There's just one thing, obviously. It's Jaden Daniels. I mean, what's he going to do in the game? Is he going to be able to keep him close? And if it gets late, if it gets to a fourth quarter game and it's one score,
there's going to be some tight.
Is that advantage Commanders?
Well, I don't think it's ever advantage anybody unless you're playing from the lead. I'd rather play from the lead, so I'd rather be ahead. And from the perspective of the Eagles, I'm gonna trust my defense to make a play like they did last week. I mean, it's 28-22, 13-yard. Jalen Carter made a play. I mean, they've been the number one defense, so I'm gonna count on that defense. Maybe it's Zach Bond, maybe it's Jalen Carter, maybe it's Quinyon Mitchell, maybe it's Slay. By the way, I think Slay might retire after this season.
I know. I listened to that clip from the locker room. I agree.
So I want the lead in that situation. Now, people say Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, if I had Patrick Mahomes, maybe I'd change that conversation. Is Jaden Daniels Patrick Mahomes? No. Great player, going to be a great player, best rookie quarterback, maybe ever, but he's not Patrick Mahomes yet. Maybe he'll get there. I doubt it. I'd rather have the lead.
Vegas has now moved the Eagles into the favorite to win the Super Bowl, John.
Yeah, they've been the favorite for a while now.
Have they? I thought
they were
Rams. John Clark put out that they're now the favorite.
That was a couple of days. I get odds every day. It was pretty. They've been the favorite for a while. It was interesting though. I think the original line came out 6.5. Then it went all the way down to 4.5 for Washington. Now it's back up to 6, wherever it is now. Check it out at BetUS. But
yeah, go check them out.
I mean, I'm not one of those, the line's telling me something, people, because all these guys who built it up, and do what you want, but Vegas knows they don't know shit, dude. Yeah.
Sharp
good
money.
job.
People love the sharp money. Yeah. All right.
They do a good job. I say that, but
they get close.
That's about an analysis and many, many years and remember what the lines are generated to do. If it goes too far one way, they want even money on both sides, because then they're in good shape.
Good stuff, Johnny Mac. Couple more super chats that we'll get to. They're off the rails. I shouldn't have even went down that road. I knew I shouldn't have went down that road. I'll save the super chats for Zander time. All right, Johnny Mac, you got a minute left. Travel safe down there to NovaCare Complex, or not NovaCare. You're going to Lincoln Financial, right? Or do you start at NovaCare?
No, I'll be at NovaCare first for Nick Sirianni's press conference. Then we'll drive the 2 blocks over to Lincoln Financial Field. Then we'll drive back to the NovaCare complex. So.
All right, good stuff. All right, Johnny Mac, I appreciate you, brother. I'm going to do some Zander time. I got to figure out what the heck to do for giveaways. I don't got anything, but I'll figure something out. Johnny Mac, good stuff, man. We'll talk to you on a Football Friday edition of Birds 365 tomorrow.
All right, thanks, everybody.
All right, appreciate it. There's John McMullen here on Birds 365. Good stuff from Johnny Mac here on the show today. Appreciate everybody checking in. Couple super chats. I mean, come on, Brian and Bonehead. Brian goes, J-Mac, I'm a Wall Street guy. I'll get you a Cayman's account to hide your habits and your side girls after I finish building Big Z a website. All right, let's pick the priority there, Brian. Where is this website? All right. I'd love to see it. All right. And we will see. What's our next super chat? Jeff Bone, the Bonehead. Bonehead, how about Johnny Mac giving you some love on your first super chat? I didn't even bring it up yet, Bonehead, and he called it out and said Jeff Bonehead is spot on. Well done, Bonehead. Sugar Daddy, bro, y'all be putting too much Irish in your coffee this morning. Jacob Nation, how you doing? Good stuff there. All right, I don't have a giveaway. gave away everything. We're doing the Zach Bond jersey either today or tomorrow on Cilio's show. I got to go and get more. I got to go and buy more giveaways. And let me tell you, the $5 super chats are going to help do it. So everybody crying about Brian Pumper should relax, okay? Should relax about Brian Pumper giving the $5 super chats. You guys can't handle somebody having a different opinion than you? Come on. Kenny says, JAKIB merch. I can always give away JAKIB merch. I can always give away JAKIB merch. So I could maybe do that. We can maybe talk about that. We could do that. Can I first take some comments on the game? Where are you guys at on this game? All right, let me get some comments on the game. Where are you guys at on the game? Devin, that's cool. Appreciate it, bro. I would listen to Zander Time, no giveaway. Just give us a story. I don't got any stories at the top of my mind right now, all right? Barb, we're going to do the Zach Bond giveaway. We're going to do a Zach Bond giveaway on JAKIB or on the Cilio show either today or tomorrow. Only 2 days left in the week. Week's flying by. Although this week did go a little slower. I woke up today. I'm like, damn, it's Thursday. I thought it was Friday. I was hoping it was Friday. One guy checks in Macalia. I really like that JAKIB hat. Yeah, this is nice, right? The melon hat. Really nice hat. Good hat for sure. All right, let me get some comments on the game here. What do you guys got? I want to see some score opinions. We'll get more score predictions tomorrow, but Night Bane checks in. What's up, brother? Good to see you in here. Knowing that Hurts will be limited mobility-wise, Dan Quinn is definitely going to be dialing up pressure and stacking the box. We better not dial up eternity-lasting routes. That's a good point. He's going to bring some pressure. And if Jalen's not mobile, I mean, like you just said, that could be an issue. You know, that's probably my biggest concern in the game outside of what Jaden Daniels presents and the problems that he presents. I'm sorry, but I know you guys don't want to crown the kid yet, and that's perfectly fine. Hey, this kid's good. All right. I think this kid is really freaking good. I think he's easily the best quarterback in the NFC East right now, just in terms of raw talent and what he's done this year. And he's playing with nothing to lose, man, and he's fearless in his approach. So Caesars checks in, one of our legend members. Good to see you, Caesar. Zander, any chance I can send you an email? I tried buying something yesterday on the shop, but I couldn't select Chile as a shipping country. Caesar, you can always email me, brother. I answer all the great people who reach out to me. I want to thank one of our viewers, actually. He sent me an amazing, awesome email yesterday. I love learning more about the viewers. So Catherine, I don't know how to say your last name. Baus or Baus or Baus? I'm going to go with Baus. B-A-U-S. How do you pronounce that? Catherine, thank you for that great email. Give me some context. Her and her husband are transplants in Maryland. They love their Eagles, and they feel like this is where they're back at home. So, boss, got it. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you for that great email, by the way. It was awesome. I loved reading it. It made my day. So thank you so much for that. Caesar, you can email me, Zander@jakibmedia.com. All right, brother? Any email you guys want to send, I always respond back as best I can, including the emails I get from Joe Whipp during a Sam Darnold pumpkin game. And he says, the pumpkin is back. Well done by Joe Whipp. So thank you. Very, very well done. We appreciate all of you guys for reaching out. Wilfredo says, people at my job saying Bills in Washington. The Eagles hate is real in Massachusetts. Well, you know why. Come on, Wilfredo. You know why. You know why. Dank Bird Gang is calling me an op. Dank. I will block you from this chat. You calling me an op. Oh, all right. I got you. You're saying Xander's not an op. Jaden is. I'm not an op. Sean Davis. Jalen going to have a great game. 145 yards and a tush push. Ooh, that's cruel. That's cruel. Here we go. Josh B. Save your blood pressure. Don't expect anything on the offense to change, and you won't be disappointed. Going to be ugly win if we win like usual. That's so true, Josh. You're 100% right. We all come into these games like expecting something different for some weird reason, and they never look different. You know, Josh, here's what one thing I'd push back on that and say is with Jalen's knee banged up. What does that mean? How does that change what the offense is or what the offense will be in this game? McAleah becomes a member, a legend member. Good stuff, McAleah. Well done. We do have all right, here's the thing on the legends, just to remind me. We will have a legend giveaway tomorrow, okay? I have the Cooper DeJean black and Kelly green, all right? I got Cooper DeJean in black and Kelly green, the one that Dirty Air one. All right, I have another one of them, and I was supposed to meet with the guy on Tuesday. Then he pushed me to Wednesday. Then I was too busy yesterday after I got off. We didn't get off the show till noon yesterday on Birds 365, so I had to cut clips and post podcasts. And then before I knew it, it was 1:30. It's a 30-minute drive, so I couldn't go and do it. So I'm trying to get all that stuff in. Devin Parker, I got to get. Who else? I sent out a couple giveaways yesterday. Suplex, I sent out yours. Brian Waddington, I sent out yours. Mac Main, who won the JAKIB merch yesterday, I sent his out. So Mac Main should get his soon. Derek Elmore, I haven't been able to get in touch with Derek Elmore, who won the Saquon Black and Kelly. So can you guys look for Derek Elmore in the chat? He's a great supporter. He's a legend member, but he's not a commenter. All right, he's not a commenter. So Derek Elmore, if you're listening, please reach out. I'm going to hold that jersey for you, okay? You are a legend, so I'm not going to move on from that. And Cody K, I saw your email. About the sizing. So I'm going to try and work on that for you. Philly Don, and you know what I'm working on for you. I'm trying to get you the XL. And then Chris Albright, I got it all worked out with you. So good stuff. Appreciate everybody, by the way. You guys have been showing out. All the legend members are talk about support, talk about, being able to go and get giveaway stuff. That's a big help. So Abe says, Zander, I also want to say Pat's show is dope. Yeah, it's a great show, man. He's done a really good job. Abe, that show has been around for almost 22 years in Philly. It used to be on the radio on 97.5. And then I think at one point it was on the weekends on WIP. And now he's syndicated it on JAKIB. So we don't own that show. We don't own people think we own the Farsi show and that show. We don't own either of those two shows. Those are the only two shows right now that JAKIB owns completely are Birds 365 and the National Football Show. The morning show with Farsi is Farsi's show. He airs that on JAKIB. So we have a deal with him that he airs it here. He likes to air it here. He gets a little bit more views and stuff like that. So it's all good for him. We like Farsi. And then the night show with Pat Callahan. He's owned that show for 23 years, and now he airs it here on JAKIB. And I think it's better. I think it's better on here. I do. I like getting Sal Palantonio on. I think Pat likes to engage. Yesterday he did his first ever chat segment. So Pat's an older guy, Pat's an older guy, and he was telling. I've been telling him slowly, come on, if you work the chat in, your show will grow. Your show will grow, And that's what he did yesterday, Abe. And I thought it was good what he did, with the two questions he asked to you guys. And he's sending out giveaways and stuff to those people. So good stuff there. All right. We'll have Les Bowen tomorrow on the show, which is great. Looking forward to talking to Les Bowen on the show tomorrow. John just texted me that. Let me see if I can remove John's Twitter, just because I don't remove. Let me see if I can remove, because I don't want to be talking on Zander time on John's Twitter all day. Let me go see what that did on his Twitter. Sorry, I'm going to just handle some business on the air here, everybody. You guys are used to that, though. You guys are used to my business on the air. Should we do a JAKIB merch giveaway today? What do you think? What do you guys think? Damn, it deleted the whole show from John's Twitter. That is not what I wanted. Les, I don't know. What's the difference, Ryan? Les Bowen? You think it's Les Bowen? I think it's Les Bowen. Yeah. Yeah, Bobby, it is funny. It is funny. The look on Pat's face. Pat is... Here's the funny thing about Pat. I try and because I keep telling him, use the chat. They'll give you some stuff, and and then he looks down and Twiz and Flex are fighting in the chat, and he's like, "What the fuck? This isn't football content." I'm like, "Man, you'll learn. You'll learn that you got to pick through it. You got to find the right comments. You got to let Flex and Twiz fight it out." All right. Pretty funny. Here we go. Did I miss a super chat? Somebody said I missed a super chat. Tell us a story on how you got J-Mac on payroll. That's a good question. We've been working with John for a long time, man. Sorry, I didn't see it, Kenny. Story time on how you got Mac on JAKIB. We had a show with John. I can show you guys. I have some old stuff in this office. Let me show you real quick. You can see we have these things on the wall. All right. So we used to have John, and John worked with JAKIB part-time, and he was a reporter, but he wasn't our reporter. He was just a reporter. And then we started to do more and more and more with John. We launched the Sirius XM show. This was like 5 years ago with Tony Bruno and Harry Mays. And then Tony Bruno said something stupid on the air about LeBron James. So they kicked the show off the air. And John was doing so well. So we had a show called Extending the Play with John. If you're an OG, you might remember this show. This was a Saturday show. And it was really numbers based. If you wanted me to be honest with you, Kenny, when I first started the channel, it's very hard to start a YouTube channel before you start getting views. It is. It takes a while. We were getting 10, 15, 20, 30 views, whatever it was. And every time I would post a John segment, I'd get comments and we'd get more views. And then what happened was, I'll tell you the story of when JAKIB actually broke and started to get like consistently more views. Went from like 30,000 views a month to like 400. Now we do about 1 million a month views wise. But the story was Doug Peterson got fired. You remember when Doug Peterson got fired? And I didn't expect Doug Peterson to get fired. And then we did an emergency reaction to Doug Peterson getting fired with John McMullen. That was our most views ever video for a long time. It was like 20,000 views, which at the time was really good for us. And then one thing turned into another. We launched Birds 365 with Jody and John. And what was that? 2021, April of 2021, I want to say. So we're coming up on 5 years, I guess. And there you go. The rest is history. Then Jody wanted more money, and we didn't come to a deal when his contract expired, and boom, here I am. Now I'm with you guys. All right. Now it's me. So good stuff. All right. I see you guys want a merch giveaway. Devin says, I started watching for John and Jody. Yeah, they were great. They were good. They were a good combo. I'll give them that. I will give them that. Sills was, the story of Sills is a little bit more fuddy, a little bit more clouded. Like, I don't remember exactly how that went down. I remember launching Birds 365. At the time, we had the middle. You guys remember the middle? Most of you probably won't remember the middle. Most of you guys probably won't remember the middle. We had the middle with Aton and Harry, and at the time Barrett Brooks. So I want to say Krause, my dad, liked Cilio because he was an old school radio guy. Cilio is very talented. I mean, you might not agree with him or you might not like his takes, but he's very, very talented. I mean, the guy goes 4 hours on the channel like it's nothing. I mean, nothing. The guy is a true good old school sports talk guy. But I think we just liked him. We thought the idea of bringing in an outsider was a cool idea, and that show grew. And he gets a lot of views. Cilio, he gets a lot of views. Yeah. Then we had Sports Take. Andrew, you remember that? Yeah, we've had a lot of. Tone wasn't soft. Tone was, look, I would have never moved. If I didn't have to move on from Tone, I would have never moved on from Tone. Tone was, we got into a business, business is business. You're spending, by the way, just think about it. We had 10 personalities on the air. We had 3 hotheads on a post-game show that, literally were paid an arm and a leg. And we were a YouTube channel with 40,000 subscribers. Now, we had great sponsors, but something's got to give eventually. And that's where I realized that putting more emphasis on the people and, is more important. Like, I used to think you hire a guy who's been in Philly media for a long time, you're automatically going to have success. Well, that's part of business. You learn from your mistakes. No, I didn't call Tone soft. Tone's a great guy. Tone, I would actually go as far as to say this. Of all the people that I've ever worked with at JAKIB, okay, of all the people I've ever hired, paid money to, worked with, we had Seth Joyner, we had Mike Missinelli, we had, McMullen, Jody Mack, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis, Derek Gunn, Eitan Shander, Harry Mays, Tony Bruno. Oh, Tone was the best worker. Easily. Tone was, I would vouch for Tone for if he asked me in any circumstance. He is a good guy. I really like Tone. I got I have no ill will toward Tone at all. And I think he's doing a great job on his channel. I watch him all the time. He does a really, really good job. Let's get to a couple supers. Haram, what's up? Good to see you in here. I appreciate it. You can correct me if I didn't pronounce your name right. All right. I really hope CJ Gardner-Johnson has Algier Crumpler type hit to send a message to the Commanders. They still need a couple of years to catch up to us. 34-17 W. I think that's a fair take, actually. I really do. I think that's a fair take. This team is good. Early in the year, I was saying all the time about I don't think they're there yet. Like, I was waiting for the drop off almost, and it never happened. That's why I'm at a point where I'm not going to be criticizing Jaden Daniels, man. Yeah, Tone's dope, man. Tone's dope for sure. Somebody mentioned Rob Ellis. Yeah, I just gave you the one I liked the most. He's the one I least liked the most. Rob Ellis was a fucking disaster. I do not like Rob Ellis, and I do not care if I would tell Rob that right to his face. He knows that. Rob is a soft guy that cried about everything. Everything. I mean, everything was tears. Everything. Somebody in the chat, I used to get emails. Not Niners all damn day. You want to know how you got blocked? That's how. Niners all damn day emailing me and Tone. Oh my God, this guy's commenting. He mean things about me. Please, can we block him? Please, can we block him? It wasn't Tone that blocked you, brother. It was Rob who asked Tone to block you. I'm telling you, man, Tone was not the issue with that. That was all Rob Ellis. So I'm airing out some dirty laundry here, but that's all cool. Barrett doesn't come on anymore because NBC won't let him, bonehead. So NBC, when we first started really coming up, and we obviously had all the names, the other media outlets, they did not like it. That's why, they didn't like it at all. So Barrett was in contract with us. And when they first signed the contract, he got it okayed by NBC because they didn't, they were just like, oh, yeah, you're doing a show on YouTube. That's fine. We don't care about that. And then we kind of started to make some headlines and get bigger, and people talked about us a lot. And, when the contract negotiation came up for Barrett again, he really couldn't get them to sign off on a deal. And, it kind of just had to go our separate ways. Look, Barrett's doing great things. He's on NBC. He does awesome things. I got no bad ill will toward really anyone. There's just guys that you liked working with and guys you didn't like working with. I'm sure you guys can all say the same thing in your own life. So Rob banned me. Most likely, James. Yeah, Rob was a banner. He did not like people talking in the chat. Twiz says, Rob lost it when Nad called him a chihuahua. I believe it. I believe that. Yeah, Rob didn't like criticism. He cried about a lot of stuff, man. So whatever. Jojo, he used to be on here. Yeah, we used to have Seth on here. We just went our own separate ways. No issue there. Derek Gunn, we fizzled out with Derek when he had an issue with his wife. God bless him. I obviously don't have any ill will toward him either, but his wife suffered a major medical emergency. He took a leave off the post-game show. I think you guys remember that. He was on the first 7 weeks, and then he was gone after that. And now he's doing his own thing, but that's fun. Now he's doing his own thing. All right, everybody. Should I do some merch giveaway? Yes, correct. Commanders all damn day, but I won't. I don't want to go down that route because I don't want to disrespect him. But should we do some merch giveaway? Should we do a little merch giveaway? I'll take some merch. I'm sure you'll take some merch. Hoodie's calling my name. Do one giveaway. The people want a giveaway. The people want a giveaway. The people want a giveaway. Slager ordered merch. Yo, a bunch of you guys ordered some merch yesterday. That was pretty cool. I ordered Mac Main his JAKIB merch. Who ordered merch yesterday? Kevin Landon, I know you ordered something. Chad, I know you ordered something. Chad, that was dope. And then the other guy, I don't know. I forget you put your name in the chat, but your name on the order is not the same as it is on YouTube. So I won't give away your name. I won't give away your name. All right, here we go. We'll do a giveaway. Have I gotten any new members today other than Macalia? Macalia, thank you, brother. Hopefully I'm saying that name right. A lot of tough names in the chat. Kerry Hayes checks in. Look at this. Just found the channel. I need some merch. Well, Kerry, I regret to inform you, you are not a member, so you will not even have a chance. You will not even have a chance, Kerry. But I appreciate you being here. It's great to have a new person on the chat, on the channel. Thanks to have you in here. Hopefully you stick around a while, even if your feelings might get hurt here and there. Shooter McGavin, our resident. What are you, Shooter? You're a Patriots fan, right? Resident Patriots fan. JAKIB is a melting pot. JAKIB is a true melting pot for all different types of people, different types of fans. You guys want me to share the membership link? Let me do that. Shooter, thanks for becoming a member, bro. That means a lot. Appreciate your support. I appreciate your support, brother. Thank you for that. All right, here we go. Shooter's no longer a gray. What's the giveaway, Zander? Big C, I don't have any jerseys left, all right? I do not have any jerseys left, so I'm trying to go get a few more. You know, the problem is, thank all the people that have a wrong size, because then I'm in limbo. I gotta get extra cash to buy the jerseys in the size that they want, and then it will free up the jersey that I gave them. But until I do that, I hold the jersey. So I got a Quignon jersey on hold. I got 2 Quignon jerseys on hold. All right. I got, what else do I have on hold? No, so that's it. I got 2 jerseys on hold. So 2 jerseys on hold. And then I got the Zach Bond jersey, which we're going to do on Cilio's show. And I have the Cooper DeJean, the black and Kelly green jersey for our legends. So I'm going to give away that to some legends. Okay. So we'll do that. All right. If we get a couple more members, maybe I'll do maybe I'll do another giveaway, another JAKIB merch giveaway. The JAKIB merch giveaways are easy because I can order it right from my site, right to your house. But here's the thing. If you win JAKIB merch, wait, I'll show you something. If you win JAKIB merch, you know, Twiz in the chat calls them love notes. Twiz in the chat calls them love notes. But if you win JAKIB merch, so anybody who's won JAKIB merch, Tony, Akbar, who else won JAKIB merch? Who am I missing? Oh, Mac Main yesterday. You don't get a nice JAKIB postcard. So if you win a regular jersey and I send it from my house, like I go and ship it, I write you a little note, and I use these too. I'll give you a little secret. Actually, no, I'm not going to say that. So it just says Zander on the back. And I write you a little love note on the back. All right. I just thank you for your support. Flexen says it's dope. Twiz calls him a love note. Whatever you want to call him. Whatever you want to call him. Whatever you want to call him. All right, so I'll do that. But if you win JAKIB merch, you're not getting one. To Brian, you're getting one. You're getting one, Brian. You're getting one. You're getting one. Izzy B says, I don't want a love note. Just send my shirt. Izzy, I ain't sending you shit. You dream of a big Z love note. A Z card. Yes, Bob. I love a Z card. Look at Brian Fleming. Brian says, yeah, I just sent you a Venmo for a jersey without giving it to Apple. Is that right? Is that right, Brian Fleming? Holy shit. Brian did just send a big-ass Venmo. How'd you get my Venmo? That's my question. Brian, thank you, sir. Brian, we got to do some business together because I think you have a skill set that I could use here on JAKIB. Yeah, Mike, no doubt about it. I'm good with tech, bro. Brian's like, I got your IP address, man. I know exactly where you are, where you live, what you do, what your phone number is, everything. I'm like, all right. Brian, the feds. Brian, I appreciate that, bro. I'm going to use that to buy a jersey for the people. I feel like Brian Fleming needs to win something. Brian Fleming just sent a big-ass Venmo north of $100, okay? And you know what else Brian Fleming did is when we did the super chat raise and we did the promotional to buy stuff to give away to the people, Brian sent 150 on there too. He sent 100 and then a 50. And A-Team also sent a hundo. So the people are really showing out today, or really not just today, every day. That's dope. Brian, that's really cool, man. That is really cool. The notes sound awesome. Joe, in all seriousness, they're not love notes, but I do try and make them personal to each person because your support does mean a lot to me. I know I say that all the time, but it's true. It's true. You guys being here, okay, is in a way is a reflection of success for me. Even if it's not where I want it to be yet, I spend all my money, all my time, all my effort, all my blood, sweat, tears, whatever you want to call it, to keep the network on the air, to make great content every single day. So when you guys are in here, hey, there's people listening. There's people that like what you're doing. So it means a lot to me. What's up, Joseph? Good to see you. Kerry Hayes, look at that. A quick conversion right there, Kerry. All right, we're going to do a merch giveaway in a little bit. We'll do a merch giveaway in like 5 minutes. Any other members want to become a member? Step up to the plate. Let's see it. Step up to the plate, and we'll pull a member giveaway here. Kerry, welcome to JAKIB Fam. We appreciate it. Tony says, I enjoy my mornings. Tony, I appreciate that. Shooter McGavin became a member. Kerry Hayes became a member. And Macalea became a legend member. Macalea, you better be tuned in tomorrow morning. All right, we're going to do the legend giveaway tomorrow of the black and Kelly green Cooper DeJean. That's tomorrow, Big C. That's tomorrow, brother. All right, that's tomorrow, Big C. And you're a legend member, Big C, so you'll be in there. You'll be in there. Look, Suplex City, this jerk off. This guy, I sent this guy a jersey yesterday. I wrote him a Z note, all right? I prioritized it. I said, get this guy his jersey so I don't have to hear from him in the chat anymore. And he's still colluding. He's still writing in this BS. Come on, Suplex. Congrats on your win, though. You should be getting your jersey soon. I sent it out. No, Bond didn't happen yet, Devin. But Devin, I told you I'm going back to get your 2X. If you want me to try and get you a Bond, I will do that. I will do that. Although sometimes I give you guys too many options. Some people be messaging me to make, to turn silver into gold, to turn water into wine. I'm like, I'm not Jesus. I can only do so much. All right. I can only do so much. No good deed goes unpunished. Bob Brown says black and Kelly DeJean is my jersey. Bob, I'm feeling it for you. All right, you want Q? So you want Q and 2X, Devin? I got to make sure they have that. I'll email you, all right? Because once I get it, I should be able to get over there. I'm hoping I can get over there today. It's already 10:30, so I got the show at 2 that I got to get ready for. I got a lot of production work to do, and I have a call at around noon. So, all right, we'll see. Let me pull the new member list. It's funny. I think today's the last day of our gifted members, so they will have one more chance. They will have one more chance to get the win. And then tomorrow, I think they drop off. So I was doing some research last night to see where we were at because we're up. We had the 470 members. So YouTube actually shows me how many are gifted And I knew the 100 were gifted because James Carver gifted them, but a couple other people have been gifted. Brandon Howard gifted some. Kenny Sprague gifted some. I forget who all gifted them. We have 131 gifted right now. So we really have 340. 340. So when they drop off, yeah, James Jones is on his high horse. Joe, that's a cool comment. Thank you, man. I am loyal to you guys. I love you all. You guys are important to me. Dakota, what's up, man? Pump that iron, Dakota. Do an extra rep for your boy Big Z. All right? What are you benching? Go to failure, Dakota. Flex them arms, baby. Go to failure. Muscle failure, all right? All right, here we go. Let me pull the member list. Macalia, real dope of you. Shooter McGavin, Kerry, and Macalia are new members today. We had a bunch of legend upgrades yesterday, too. You guys that's epic, man. That's really cool of you guys. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that. All right, here we go. I got the member list. Somebody just ordered some JAKIB merch. Who is it? Which one of you knuckleheads is ordering JAKIB merch so I can thank you? Which one of you knuckleheads just ordered some JAKIB merch? Tyler Braswell. Tyler, thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. That's really cool of you. Thank you, Tyler. If you're in, I would assume you're in the chat because I was talking about it and then I got an order. So I'm wondering if. All right, here we go. Giveaway winner. Here we go. We're going to do it, Jake. I came into the day. I woke up and I'm like, I have no giveaways today. I'll try and talk to the people for a little bit, but I can't do a giveaway today. I got nothing to give away. Here I am doing another giveaway. You guys always win me over somehow, some way. And by the way, it's a losing proposition. I get a couple members. YouTube takes 50% of it, and then I'm out more cash. But that's all right. I'll live. JAKIB merch giveaway. I appreciate all you guys. Oh, I think I lost the hundo members. Some of them are still green in the chat, but YouTube, the back end of YouTube is showing me that they are not members. I have 369 on the list. 369 on the list. 368 on the list. So if you were a gifted member, yeah, Bird Gang, you're done. You're done and dusted. You're out of here. Get them out of here. Holy shit, everybody's odds just went up by 25%. Maybe a little less than that, but 20%. Yeah, it does. It's a 20% odds improvement. What are you talking about? Is he big? You dropped off on almost 20% of people. Like, your odds don't improve by 20%, but the total pool of people has decreased by 20%, north of 20%. 470 to 370. Somebody do the quick math. Brian Fleming, you're a smart guy. Joe Whipp, you're a smart guy. Still a 2% chance to win. God, some of you guys. Still a 2% chance to win. Dude, I have a list of my notes, all right? I got a list in my notes. I'm starting to feel pretty good. I'm starting to feel like I'm going to be able to get to everybody. I mean, the list of people that have won something in the last month and a half from JAKIB is like 50 people. That's pretty good. I mean, I'm checking names off the list here on people who have won something. Waddington, he's a winner. Flexen and Steppen won something. James Jones won something. Abe won something. Wayne the Pain won something. Joe Whipp still hasn't won something. He's hanging on strong. Who else won something in here? Tony won something. Jason A-Team won something. Devin Parker won something. Terry Hayes won something. I mean, I'm checking names off the list. I'm getting Josh B won something. Dirty Air won something. I'm checking names off the list. Dakota says, you're not a loser. Don't use that word. You are a loser in terms of the giveaway, but you're not a loser. I don't like that name. Ryan. Ryan. The self-depreciating Ryan. Come on, Ryan. I'm here to build you up. Holly first, still waiting. Cody K won something. Cody, I'm trying to get you your medium. All right, brother? Now, Jason, I remember what happened with you. Jason, you won the chat contest. All right. There was a day on Cilio. We gave away the Grinch hoodie. And it wasn't members. We were going to pick one super chat to win. And the chat picked you to win. And then you won a drawing for another sweatshirt. And I'm like, I already gave you a sweatshirt. And you're a legend member, so I upgraded you to a jersey. And then I was going to give you a Saquon jersey, and you accepted the Quinyon Mitchell, which was cool of you. Bird Gang Girl, upgrade. She's back in the mix. Let me go add her to the list. Bird Gang Girl. The population of females seems to be increasing. Is it just me? Or is that what's happening in the chat? Bird Gang Girl. Catherine Boss is in here. Who else we got? Izzy B's in here. Who else? I feel like there's maybe not. Maybe that's still. Maybe that's about what we thought. That's about what we thought. Never mind. All right, here we go. I got the thing. Oh, wait. Here we go. All right, here's the list. Bird Gang Girl, I added you in. Good stuff. Thanks for becoming a member. Kerry Hayes, welcome to JAKIB. You're appreciated, and we appreciate your support in becoming a member. All right. Shooter McGavin, thanks for becoming a member. Macalia became a legend member. We'll clap it up for Macalia. Thank you so much. Yeah, Lucius, I just got your email. Thanks for the email, brother. I appreciate that. Lucius, the one thing I'd say about that is I think I'd have to start another channel for that. I wouldn't really go down the JAKIB road for that. I wouldn't want to conflate those things. The other thing is, Lucius, I might need to hire one of you to be the host because I know next to nothing about that topic. It's a good idea, though. I do appreciate you reaching out and saying that. Thanks, bro. All right, here we go. I might have a Philly D. You never know with Philly D. You know, Abe. He does like to complain in the email. There's a couple people who like to complain in the emails. You know, some people just that's what they do. They email me. You know how many emails I get a week about Cilio? Oh my goodness. I have a mute feature in my email. It's like anything that comes in saying fire Cilio is a mute. Goes right to the junk box. Don't even click on it. All right, here we go. Who's ready? You must be present to win. Flexen, you are the only chat member that has my phone number personally. You are the only member that has my phone number. So you ain't emailing, but you'll drop a text. All right, here we go. Brian Fleming. This is my guy right here. This guy's a smart guy. You can tell. And you know why I like Brian? Because not all smart people are funny too. Brian's funny too. I'm adding features for this picker to include a blacklist and a no repeat winners option, but I need a database for that. So I'll host it in AWS, and the front end will have Cilio's face on a lot of picks. All right, Brian. Whatever you want to do. All right. Sig Lord, I get so many of them. It's not funny. It's not even funny. Yeah, Flexen's got the highly coveted Big Z phone number. All right. I don't think anybody else will be getting that one. Brian, thanks for the super chat again, man. Another super chat from Brian. And he sent a Venmo to go and get a jersey for the people. Oh, Devin, they're hilarious. I get a kick out of them. It doesn't bother me. I don't care that people, if you don't agree with something, like, I find it funny that people are grown and they can't fathom the idea that somebody doesn't have the same opinions as them. I don't understand that. Like some of you guys who cry in the chat about Brian Pumper. I'm like, bro, he's got a different opinion and he's funny and he drops super chats to support the channel. Doesn't matter that he doesn't agree with you. If the hosts tell Brian Pumper he's wrong, then why is it such a big deal? All right, here we go. 3 shuffles must be present to win. 1 shuffle, 2 shuffles, 3 shuffles. Here we go. Four, 3, 2, 1. T-Will. T-Will, are you here? T-Will, are you out there? T-Will became a member like 2 days ago, I think, or 3 days ago. Pump, you know I love you, brother. Jay Pattern says, I'm here. You're not T-Will. Next. T-Will stinks. That's a very Ryan comment. Who? He became a member on here the other day. He became a member on here the other day. I remember I was in the chat. He was in the chat, I think, on Zander time. And he became a member on Zander time. I think. If I'm not mistaken. Yes, Keith, that's very true. Z, the chat empowers people. I salute my young brother. Thank you, brother. Keith, you're right, though. And I like that about it. I do. I you know, I'm not of the opinion that, I don't know. I don't like when people act like, you know, everybody's opinion isn't worth it if they're like in a chat. Like, I don't care that you're in a chat. If you're a human being and you got to send and you have a brain, then I think your opinion can be heard. Doesn't mean I have to agree with it, but so I love talking to the chat. I love getting the opinions from the chat. It's one of my favorite things to do. I told you guys the other day, if you guys were on here, when sometimes I go soft on Zander time and I give you guys stories. But all right, T-Will, you're gone. Well, my favorite part about what I do is the people. It's not talking about the Eagles. It's the people, you know, having a connection with the people and talking to you guys. And so that's my favorite part about what I do. T-Will's done. He's already gone. All right. Devin, Zander rambling is an inevitable on Zander time. It's just going to happen. You're going to have to live with it. And if you're not here, then that's fine. Then you're not going to be present and you're going to get the boot. Look at Big C. Oh, Zander, you're going to make me cry. Uh-oh, we got a new member. I might be going back. To add in Mike. Holy shit. Mike's already a member, so he upgraded to family. Mike, thank you, man. That's really dope of you. Mike. All right, Mike, you're on there. And Jay Parker becomes a legend. Holy moly. Jay Parker, I think you're on there. Okay, good. Were you gifted, Jay Parker, and then now you upgraded? Rashid, my Twitter that's the best place to connect with me, probably. My Twitter family is my Twitter family doesn't just talk to me on Zander time. They talk to me all day. That's what I like about Twitter. It's $5 and $10. That's literally it, Devin. But the support goes a long way. So when someone gives 10, I obviously appreciate it. All right. Do we have to add anybody? No, because Jay Parker's in and Mike Burkhorst is in. Thank both of you so much for your support of the channel. I appreciate that. Rashid, I put my @ on Twitter on there if you want to connect with me on there, bro. Wilfredo, I appreciate you, man. Love Wilfredo. Wilfredo, you're one of the guys I'm connected with on everything. I got you on Instagram. I think I got you on Twitter, and I got you here on YouTube. Thank you, Wilfredo. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. All right, here we go. Devin, I'll be looking for that. All right, here we go. 1 shuffle, 2 shuffles, 3 shuffles. Come on. Gotta be present to win. And we lost 100 of the gifteds. So we're in a better spot. All right. 3, 2, 1. Michael Calabrese. I went to high school with a kid named Michael Calabrese. I don't think this is him. Trust me. Trust me when I tell you, this isn't the same. Actually, maybe it is. Michael Calabrese, are you in here? He was in my math class. I think Calabrese was older. I think he was maybe in my brother's grade. I'm not sure. Niall says, "You sure my name in there? I'll search for you, Niall." Niall, you're in there, though. You've been bitching all day, Niall. I saw you and Brandon fighting about nothing. Kenny Sprague just bought a bleeding green hoodie. Let's go, Kenny. What if you win? And I'll get you another hoodie and another shirt, all right? Let's go. You guys have been ordering some merch. Nah, definitely not a chatter is right, Akbar. I never seen this guy in a chat. All right, let's get him out of here. Let's search for Niall. We don't want Niall to get his panties in a bunch. I'm just messing with you, Niall. You're in there. There he is. As predicted, Niall. You're here. Flexing and stepping. There's Bobby Murphy, David Esch, James M., Catherine Boss, Callie Baby, Wild Bear, Philly fan, T-Bone. Tony's in here. Jamie Schoenfeld. Shonuff. Mike M. McAlee with a super chat. Thank you, brother. I listen to a lot of Eagles news throughout the week, and JAKIB is one I never miss. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. I appreciate that very much. Let's see. Who's asking me to look for their name? Izzy B, did you remove my name? I don't think so. Why the heck would I remove it? Are you still a member? No, you're there. Izzy B, right here. Am I in? I know I wasn't a member. Sig Lord, I'll look for you. You have a pretty iconic name, Sig Lord. Sig Lord, there you are. TK, thank you, man. I know you always do because you check in with comments after. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. You got ham bone in there. Ryan, you want me to search your ass? Ryan, I search you every day. All right, dude? I search you every freaking day. Look, we got 5 Ryans. There he is. Ryan, no last name. Boom, just done and dusted. Ryan. All right, you're here. Who else needs me to search? Dave Edwards. All right, Dave, I answered this a couple days ago, but I'm going to answer it again for you, okay? Dave Edwards says, "What's up, Zay? You going to the game?" Thank you for the super chat. Oh, and Scott Wilson becomes a member. Scott, thank you, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Dave, I'll answer you in just a sec, all right? Welcome to JAKIB fans. Scott, thank you. Thank you, Scott. Scott. Here we go. Let's add Scott Wilson in before I answer Dave. All right, here we go. Dave Edwards says, "Zay, you going to the game?" So, Dave, there's many pros and cons to what I do, okay? There's many pros and cons to what I do. I love what I do. It's an honor and a privilege to talk Eagles football with you guys. I am also very committed to my business, though, all right? I got a post-game show. I got work to do. Going to games for my personal enjoyment will probably never happen again as long as I do this business, okay? So it will probably never happen again. And no, I'm not going. If I did go, though, I would go with the idea of trying to get content and create content for the people. But as a one-man band right now, that's an uphill battle. So, Scott Wilson, thanks for becoming a member, man. Good day to you. I appreciate it. Thank you. No JAKIB Suite? Not yet, KCA. Not yet, KCA. Nah, he won't give me the credential. He will not give me the credential, Joe. All right, here we go. Scott Wilson's been added. We're up to 370 again. All right, here we go. 1 shuffle. 2 shuffles. 3 shuffles. Must be present. JAKIB merch on the line. Come on. It's 10:50. I wasn't supposed to go this long today. I got to go and pick up more jerseys and shit. 3, 2, 1. Iron Mike. Iron Mike. Come on, Iron Mike. Show yourself. Tell me you're in the chat. Kenny, come on, man. That's a pause. Did someone block Philly Don? He said he emailed me. Am I on timeout? I don't know. I don't think so. Philly Don, are you listening? Let me email Philly Don back. Did somebody time out Philly Don? Is Iron Mike here? Is Iron Mike here? No. Next. All right. I was sending an email. Doing some business on the air, as I usually do. Let's go to the green hat. Let's go to the green Kango. All right. Let's go to the green Kango. Let's go to the green Kango. Maybe we'll have a little bit of luck. Yeah, you're here. You're not timed out, brother. You're good. I saw your email, though. I just emailed you back. All right, here we go. Iron Mike is out. Here we go. Any new members I missed? No, we got Scott. Dave Edwards, thanks for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. Start. Confirm. 3 shuffles. All right. Will the green hat be good luck for a winner? 1 shuffle. 2 shuffles. 3 shuffles. Start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dakota. Yeah, Dakota. Dakota was just saying I didn't win. Dakota, come on, Dakota. I know you're in here. You're in the gym. Dakota's mid set right now. Bench pressing. He was just saying he didn't win. Here we go. Big Sill's backup account says Zander's kind of a clown. Enjoy the show, big guy. Enjoy the show, big guy. I knew the green hat would work. Let's go, Dakota. Just sat down them hundreds. Let's go. Congrats, Dakota. All right, Dakota. You want me to pull up the site or you want to email me, DM me what you want, whatever you want to do, man. If you want to do it on the air, I'll do it right here. I'll do it right here, right now. Pull up the site. Let me pull up the site. Let's do it. That green hat lock, man, that shit works. That shit works. Dakota Warren, not to be confused with Dakota Krause. All right, here we go. Abe, it's actually my Victory Monday Kango. When I bought this Kango, it was supposed to be my Victory Monday Kango. I do like it, though. I got 2 of them. That's how much I liked it. I got 2 of them. See, I got one with the vents. See the vents? So this is a vented one. And this one's got no vents. I do like the green one, though. Green one's probably my favorite. All right, here we go. Here we go, Dakota. Let's talk some merch, bro. What do you want? All right. Let's make the merch a little bit bigger. The vents help with hair loss. Ain't nothing help with my hair loss, man. The funniest thing in my family right now is everybody trying to give me like enough. Everybody has a remedy to save my hair. They all care about my hair except for me. I don't give a shit about my hair. It's hair. Who cares? I don't care. My dad's bald. I'm going to be bald. It's fine. It doesn't bother me one bit. It doesn't bother me one bit. All right, Dakota. This is the JAKIB line. All right. This is JAKIB Nation line. This is Bleed Green. Comes in black or white logo. All right. This seems to be a hit. A couple people got this one. All right. That's pretty cool. I like it in black with the white logo. There's the sweatshirt. Stout U. This is pretty fresh too. You could go gray. You can also go on the site and pick anything you like. Doesn't matter to me. Just pick two things: a sweatshirt and a shirt, or a sweatshirt and a hat. All right, Dakota, you get to pick two things. All right. So pick a shirt and a hat, or a sweatshirt and a shirt, or a sweatshirt and a hat, or whatever. Big Sill's backup account is still crying. What did he say earlier? Zander's a what? What did he call me? A clown? Is that what he called me? I love people who come in and hate. Yeah, Zander is kind of a clown, he said. And then he followed it up because I told him to enjoy the show. He followed it up. I'll enjoy the show when the Commanders beat your QB who can't throw anything with timing and accuracy. All right, dude, cool. You're crying into a void, bro. Crying into a void. Crying into a void. All right? I appreciate you being here. All right, here we go. This is what Dakota wants. They hate with love, Zander. Good one, Joe. Send me Stout U short sleeve and JAKIB Bleed Green hoodie, both black XL. Boom. Dakota, how can I contact you there? Because I got to get your address and stuff, and I don't want you to do that in here. All right. Wait, Flex and Daz. This is hard. I love them both. All right. They've been fighting in the chat. Yo, Flex and Daz. All right, be friends. Please. Makes my life easier. If not, whatever. What are you going to do? Anyway, you can't win them all. Setting up a cage match. Here, you want to email me? Dakota, do I have you on X or anything or no? Here's my email. Anybody's welcome to email me. There you go, Dakota. I just put it in the chat. Me and Niall was the undercard. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. All right. I'm way over. It's 11 o'clock. I can't seem to do one of these Zander times quicker than an hour. Doesn't seem to work like that. Oh, God. Cilio just texted me his power's off. What a nightmare. All right, who's up for if Cilio's power doesn't come back on? I told Cilio I'm about to buy a generator for him. Yeah, well, when his Wi-Fi goes out, when his power goes out. It's not him paying the bills, Leo. He better be paying the bill. I'm paying him an arm and a leg. Now, what I'm going to do is, so I told you guys, I got the Starlink. So I want to buy a generator, like a little one. You can get a pretty high powered, like electric one that if you keep it charged, I looked it up, it'll run Starlink for like 8 hours. And Starlink pulls internet from satellites in space. So no California blackouts can get to it. None of that shit. No, Akbar, he didn't. He moved. He lives in a great spot. California's just it's not run well, man. It's not. They don't manage anything well. They don't put money into the right things. They don't do anything well. So I was thinking about getting him a generator and getting him a Starlink. The Starlink was, I think my Starlink was $500 primo. It was $500 for the mini, which I can connect to my car and stuff. So it's worth it for me because obviously I do everything with obviously I do everything on the air and need internet. Joe, hi, I'd love to do that. But if I can run that, he'll have internet enough to power his computer and his Starlink, and then the Starlink will give him internet. Yeah, it's an insane product, Flexen. This is where I laugh at people, who hate on Elon Musk. I'm like, bro, I don't care that you don't like his politics. Like, the guy is a freaking great entrepreneur. Send him U-Haul money. Joe Whip, you got the generator? Yeah, I want to get a Generac. When I buy a house, I'm getting a Generac. Sills can come to my place and do the show. We have power. Big C, you're not out there in Cali, are you? Tell Celia to move to South Carolina. He said it was in the works. We'll see. I think he wants to move to Florida. Dakota, let me see. Oh, I got it, bro. What's up, man? Oh, I saw you followed me. I didn't know this was you. I had no idea this was you. Awesome. I'll send out your JAKIB merch today, brother. I'm going to order it for you. I appreciate it. Oh, shoot. Let me get that comment of what you said you wanted. I'll forget. All right, here we go. Let me take a screenshot of that comment because I'll forget. Done. All right. Thank you, Dakota. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. Yeah, KCA, this is kind of my dream. Not even going to lie to you, but I need a lot. The thing is, KCA is I got to make more money. Just being honest with you, my business doesn't make enough money yet to have what I'm going to need to have a studio in person. You need editors for that. You need producers. Like I need a lot of stuff. I'm aware of everything I need. People say you got to do this. I'm like, believe me, I think about it morning, noon, and night. Believe me, I think about it morning, noon, and night. I promise you, I don't stop thinking about it. That's all I think about is how to get better. All right, how to build bigger. All right, love you all. That's going to do it for the show. Congrats to Dakota Warren on the win. Make sure you guys are tuned in tomorrow. I'm hoping to go get some more jerseys today. Maybe I'll be able to do that, and we can do some giveaways tomorrow, and I will have the Legend giveaway tomorrow. And we also have the Zach Bond jersey that we're going to do on the National Football Show. Now, if he doesn't have the National Football Show today, I don't know. Maybe I do the giveaway today. Maybe I wait for him to get back tomorrow. Who knows? All right. Who knows? Let's go. Dakota says, that's me and my dad's business. We lay asphalt for a living. Hard work pays off, Big Z. Yes, it does, brother. Yes, it does. Keep grinding, Dakota. Never stop. Never stop grinding. That's my promise. All right. I can't promise you the Eagles will win. I can't promise you that the shows will be great every day, but I can promise you I'll never stop grinding. All right. Thanks, everybody. Love you all, man. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for all the great support. Big thanks again to our new members today. Scott Wilson, appreciate you, brother. Jay Parker, Legend member. Thank you, man. Mike Berghorst, upgraded to family. Mike, thanks again, brother. Bird Gang Girl, good to have you back in the mix. Kerry Hayes, appreciate your support. Shooter McGavin became a member. Shooter, thanks, brother. And Natalie became a legend. So big thanks to all of you guys and to all of our super chatters. Dave, Brian, Brian Fleming again, Twiz, Brian Pumper, Josh B, Jeff Bone, all you guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for the support. See you next time, everybody, on Birds 365.
You've been listening to Birds 365, the destination for the passionate Eagles football fan who bleeds green. If it's Eagles football, we're talking about it. Debate inside the locker room and guests that are some of the greatest football minds from around the region. We hope you enjoyed the show. We know we had a blast. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hook up with us on social media at JAKIB Sports. See you next time on Birds 365.